if I do?
Covino and Rich. Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Turn on down on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
All right, the show has begun. Let the Wild Compass start. CNR show begins. All right, Rich, you got the one shot. I like it. Can't tell about those locals. It's a celebration. What's up, Bobby Peterson?
Yo, what's up, Matos Locos?
Grammy, E-Jar. So nice to meet you. Joel in Jersey. Orale, fools. What's up, fools? It's a Tuesday. It feels like a Monday for me because I'm back in the studio, back from my road trip. That's Octane, Dickie, and we rocking out. Let's go.
Give the birthday boy his one shot while I fade down the music.
And Octane Dickie loves to rock it out, yeah. He's Octane Dickie. He motherfucking rocks out. Oh my God! Name one fucking band on Octane. Oh yeah. Thank you. Feliz cumpleaños, Rocket Dog. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's my birthday that doesn't feel like my birthday, but that's okay. The only people that really care are my old real estate guy and my dentist. I appreciate that.
Hey, happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, and my sister Jen, who sent me a pooper scooper. So thank you.
That is very kind.
No, I got lots of birthday wishes already. Appreciate that. Thank you. It gets less and less special as time goes on, that's for sure. But
Because you don't want it to be your birthday.
yeah, exactly.
No one wants to turn old.
Wah! And then your body starts to catch up. Your body's like, oh yeah, another year's gone.
Oh.
So you start getting older and it starts to suck.
You know where it starts to look funny? When you, on your balls. It starts to look funny when you see your name in print with your age.
Yeah, fuck that.
Like, let's say.
No, when you're like filling shit out and you fill out your birthday year and you have to keep scrolling and then scroll again and then scroll again. You're like, yeah, 76, bicentennial Steve.
That's the bummer.
Sucks my ass.
I think it's not only that, it's when if you see your name in print, let's say you accomplish something awesome. Let's say you get a brand new job. This big company hired Steve Covino, 46. And you're like,
I didn't approve that. I did not approve that. So thank you, Andrew Hart. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Michael Graham. Thank you, world.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Your mom said,
Thank you, life.
Feliz cumpleaños, mi amor.
Feliz cumpleaños, Pee-wee. Thank you.
Well, hey, 1976 was a great year.
Happy birthday to my Uncle Tommy. My Uncle Tom. He doesn't get a lot of shout-outs. That's my dad's brother. I was born on his day, so my dad always said to me, should have named you Tommy. Hey, should have named you after my brother, that asshole.
Well, I don't really call you Steve much, so you still would have been Covino.
Nobody does, really. Anyway, thank you, guys.
Tommy's probably a cooler name than Steve when you think about it.
Steve and Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy's a cooler name.
3 generations of
Tommy.
Steves and Tommies in my family. So thank you guys for all your wishes. Hope you had a nice Monday night. Hope all your teams won. I was on a road trip.
Man, 13 hours. And by the way, one person noticed it already for the tier 2 loyal Covino and Rich familia. They said, yo, why is Rich look pasty white and Covino looks bright and tan?
Well,
our lights broke, and it's not a spots not here thing.
It's a Vato on the river, remember?
It's honestly, our lighting along the table broke. This broke before Spot left.
Yeah, he blames you. But he blames Rich.
He blames me, even though there's like a switch over here that it's one of those, those the LED lighting you might have for like your kid's room or a studio or an office. It's stuck and will only be blue.
You say I justify. I don't even notice it, to be honest. You
Are
look
you-
great.
what are
Look
you
how handsome you
talking
are
about?
in your
I'm-
Octane shirt. We're just rocking an Octane
This just
shirt.
shows how little you know about lighting and stuff. You're supposed to be
Lighting
warmed
for
up.
white guys. What do you mean? What about lighting for vatos? Lighting for white dudes. That's all you care about.
You know
I
nothing
look good.
about
Thank you.
something you're talking about.
You know nothing about me being of different color, needing different lighting. All you care about is pasty rich.
What?
That's all you care about.
But you.
I
But
know
you're
it's
talking
not,
out of
it's
place.
not that flattering for anybody.
No one's
I'm
flattered.
only tan because I'm tan. This
No
motherfucker is
one
pasty white.
Actually, I'm actually pretty tan right now for me this part of the year.
Well, look at this sweet tan line I got. You
And
got this sunglasses
blue
on.
lighting is the worst. Watch, no lighting's better.
Then leave it, dude.
But
Who
blue light-
cares?
I'm saying blue
I'm just saying
lighting-
you're the guy that says I justify and I say things at a place like who cares.
I'm just
But you're the
saying-
first guy to do it.
When you have a visual element to a TV show, a
How
radio
little
show,
I know. Meanwhile, lighting for the most part was always catered to the white folk, and that's not a race card. That's just
white
a fact.
folk?
That's a
What
fact.
on earth are you talking about?
That's an absolute fact. What are you talking about? You know who changed the game? It's a very famous story. Oprah Winfrey.
Let's hear this famous story.
Because she stepped into I believe the Donahue studios or whatever, and all lighting was always set for white people. For a guy who knows little about
she
lighting,
is a
it's
black
always
woman.
set for white people for the most part. It's not set for dark-skinned people. Just never really was. So, hey, I feel like I look
In
fine.
any radio, TV, podcasting studio, the lighting is very warm. It's supposed to make you. It leans yellowish and
Rich
orange
is the
and
lighting
tan.
expert now, people.
Well, no. Do you see my garage? You see how many lights I have in the
But I
garage? My wife
understand,
does
but
photography.
I'm here complimenting you, saying you don't look that bad. One bozo says you look pasty. You always look pasty. Who gives a shit?
No, I'm just saying. I wondered if someone would notice, and right away, someone's got the eye. Some people notice that stuff. Some people don't give a shit.
Well, if you feel better with the no light, then leave no
Well,
light. I really don't give a
it's
shit.
it's broken. I could hardly even get the blue light on.
Well, that shit was broken before Spot left. I
know.
promise you that.
Yeah.
So,
So my point is,
I used that same shitty light all last week when Rich was in Texas.
but what I'm saying is, when you're in a studio, any TV
Which
company,
I've been in. This guy's acting like I don't know shit about it. I've been in plenty of radio studios. You remember our years at SNY and ESPN every night?
And we
I
didn't
get
have-
it.
we didn't have
Just 'cause you
different lighting. You're not-
in the
you're not
garage
fucking
doesn't mean-
Omar Epps. You're
Yes,
not dark
They had
skinned.
to specifically light me different at times. That's true. That's how little you know about lighting. That's a fact. Jack, look it up. People, depending on their skin tone, need different lighting. That's the fact. So what's good for you isn't good for this gander, and vice versa. So I'm okay with it. But what I was saying is, you look handsome.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, you're the
Thanks,
one that
bud.
came off of.
No, I
That's
just
how little you know.
no. I just know that I came back.
You're glowing. Gio says you're glowing.
I came back from New York and Texas, and I was like, all right, let me shave. I felt all good about myself, and I look here, I'm like, oh my god, ghostly. And then you realize, well, yeah, blue light is very whitening. It really is. Like if I had a
Yo, dude, you're really white. And by the
really
way,
not that. I'm not like
we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
white America. Want to dive into it? I don't care about lighting.
in
You look-
every.
you're a handsome guy.
Well, hold
Who
on.
gives a fuck?
In
You
every
think
hood.
Mongrel McGirt, him calling you out and being pasty? Like, let's see what he looks like. Let's see Mongrel McGirt.
I saw a meme this morning. Birthday boy it says in every hood there's a vato named blank.
Chewy.
Chewy's your answer?
Oh, Angel.
Spider.
Angel. That's my uncle's name. Uncle Angel. Everybody has an Uncle Angel. On here.
Ebony
Yeah.
and ivory.
Rich looks so different when he's full 100 watt Sylvania white.
I do. I look like a light bulb.
I love when Rich doesn't realize he knows very little about different races. That's from Reggie.
What you know about anything?
Yeah,
Reggie?
how about I look
What
good
you
with that
know
lighting.
about- you look
But
good with
nobody
blue
cares.
lighting?
Yeah, I look fine. Because what's different for me is different for you, and vice versa.
No one looks good with blue lighting. Have you ever seen
it's
blue
not
lighting?
blue, it's LCD bluish tint.
But you think
It's like white.
It's
It's
a
like very
white
white.
blue lighting
Right.
is like what they would never put in a
LED. Did I
hotel.
say LCD? Shout out to the sound system. LED.
Okay.
All right. So I don't care about lighting. I'm just happy to be here. Made it 13 hours of misery.
How was that drive,
I'm
by the way?
making a stance. I'm calling it today. No more road trips for this guy. It's just aggravating. and you're in the car for 13 hours and you start resenting the person you're next to. You're like, oh, goddamn traffic, speed limits, fucking.
What did you find yourself going?
Crazy.
Like, well, no. What is
done.
the speed limit there?
Yeah, but you realize speed limit means that's the limit. That doesn't mean you have to drive that limit. That's the limit.
That's the lowest you could go.
No, the definition is limit. That's the highest you could go. Another bozo remark. It's the limit. Speed limit means you can't exceed that limit.
Well, I'm saying if you're on the straight road. All right, for instance, when I was driving.
No, I don't think people understand what limit means.
From Texas to
speed
here.
limit. If it's 80, that doesn't mean you have to go 80.
Well, why would you not go 80 if this?
That means you can go 80.
But who would go
I'll tell you
under
why.
80?
When you don't feel safe. And when I'm the guy driving, I want to feel as safe as I fucking want. And I don't want to hear about it, period, the end. So no more road trips for this guy.
Did you and Jordan fight about speed limits?
No, it's just an aggravating ride. It's 13 hours of like,
if the speed limit is 80,
that doesn't mean you have to go 80.
I set the cruise control on like 83.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, 80 is pretty fucking fast to begin with. I'm not going to go 90 and get pulled over doing 90 and an 80.
Yeah, but I'm not a speed demon. I don't feel safe. I
feel
don't like going too fast. I don't feel like ending my life to be in a big rush to get nowhere. And that's not my priority. My priority in that moment is to be safe and to get there safely.
I keep
not to get there to beat the clock or to beat the fucking map quest. Yes, I threw out an old school map quest.
Man, what are you, 46?
No, it's actually a joke, inside joke. Jordan's mom said that this weekend. We had a big laugh about it.
Map quest.
MapQuest says it takes a lot longer, Jordan. Anyway, had a wonderful time, though, in Idaho.
Well,
and
no one's here to squeeze your shoes on your birthday. But speed limit, yes. It's not designed to go over, but I think most could agree that let's say you're driving.
It's the limit.
That's like
limit.
Suggested
No,
in society.
that means limit. And it's mostly 80 miles per hour. And I was going anywhere between 65, 75. Sometimes
80?
Sometimes on my way there, I was going 101. It depends on the driver's comfort level in that moment. When you have fucking semi trucks whizzing by, fucking traffic back and forth. If I feel like going 65, that's my decision as the guy in control driving.
You didn't go with prerogative?
Shut up.
You didn't go with prerogative?
It is my prerogative, but it's also my decision to make as the dance commander.
You are the dance commander.
As the guy in charge. And if you don't like it, then you drive. And that's always an issue. And I'll gladly step out for you, Spot, Jordan, any motherfucker who's not happy with how I'm driving. Then you drive. Because I'm the guy in control, and I'll drive however the fuck I want, where I feel safe.
All right, well,
you're not the judge of my safety levels.
I know, but I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah, Bill, I'll drive 65 and an 80 all day, as long as I get home safe to my child and to my awesome life. I'm not trying to beat the clock or beat the record for Bill Jackson.
Yeah, but I think the consensus
that's how I feel.
Among most normal drivers is that you don't want to go over 10 because that's when you don't want
to go necessarily under 10 either. Again, a speed limit. What you're doing is abusing the limit. So when you guys get speeding tickets, I'll laugh at all of you. I'm in no business of that. I'm just trying. My number one initiative, my number one priority is safety. And I don't feel safe sometimes. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe going that fast. I want to. What?
Is it your car?
Sometimes.
Because you're in a sedan. Maybe if you were in an SUV or bigger.
Sometimes I'll feel the wind hit me. And I'll feel the car sway, and then I'm just like on high alert. And if I'm in that feeling of high alert, even though the alert is over, you have to give me a minute to feel safe again.
You're staying in the right lane though, at least, right?
Yeah. But if I have to consciously feel, you have to not really think about it. But if I'm consciously thinking about it, then I'm on high alert. And the only reason I'm thinking about it is because I feel the car sway or some shit like that. Or some guy fucking seemed to cut me off a little bit. I'm like, all right, back to reality. When I'm not really thinking about it, then I'm fine. When Jordan's asleep, guess what? I'm fine. When she's looking to see how fast I'm going, I get all anxious. I'm like, beat it, mind your business. And that's Jordan, that's Rich, that's Spot, that's anybody who's in the passenger seat. It could be the puppy.
I think
anyone who's going to criticize the person, you're not doing any service to them at all as a co-pilot. You want to help that person? You can tell them which way to go. Don't criticize their driving. In fact, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah,
that goes to everybody.
We don't.
I don't.
We don't criticize drivers in our family. If Sarah's driving or I'm driving, the other person just sort of
I don't.
back. But
I don't
we have
say shit.
We have the same strategy.
So
though.
many times I'm like, "Ugh." But I'm like, yo, I'm not. If I'm gonna pull a grandma move, am I really helping the driver? That shit's annoying. So I'm officially retired from road trips, but I had a wonderful time.
The limit-
13 hours on the road is my limit.
I
Fuck that.
think the limit's 10 miles an hour. Speed limit's 65. You don't want to go over 75 because you're jeopardizing getting pulled over. If the speed limit's 75, I'm going like 82. If it's an 80 speed limit, I'm even going like 84. You don't want to push it, but
says who? Says the driver.
I'm saying
Safety
you don't
first.
want to push
don't
it.
care about the guy behind you, and don't care about the guy in your passenger seat. Worry about you and how you feel as the driver. What feels right, once again, what feels right for Rich doesn't feel right for me. So if this guy wants to go 85, that's his prerogative. If he thinks he looks shitty in blue light, that's on him.
Yeah, but
if I want to go 65 and an 80 or 75 or 81, that's up to me.
You're saying all things that are correct, so you can't argue it. But
Then shut. Then
But
everyone should shut
if
up.
the speed limit's 80, it's designed because they're
No, that
saying
means the
you're
limit.
saying you could safely go 80 here. That's the speed you should be going.
Limit. That doesn't mean you have to go that limit. That means you shouldn't go higher than the limit. That's what that
but
really
why would
means.
you go
That's why
lower?
it says limit.
But why would you go lower?
Limit. That's not the actual speed you should
If
go.
you look at the navigation,
for
it's like
safety. What do you mean? Why should you go lower? I just said it for fucking 15 minutes.
Safety?
However you feel comfortable.
Okay.
So when I'm driving for 13 hours and I didn't, I drove the last leg, which was about 5.5 hours, which was so hard on me. My eyes are so sensitive at night. So I'm like, again, high alert, man. I'm like, that clenched butthole feeling the whole way is not for me. I probably need to get my eyes checked, but I also don't like people telling me how to drive. I'm allergic to it, and it makes me angry, and it makes me more anxious. And like I said, whether it's Rich, whether it's Spa, whether it's my mom, whether it was my grandma, because grandmas are infamous. We're like, hey, slow down, or whoa, watch your driving. If you don't like it, then you drive. And I'm a firm believer on that. Otherwise, be quiet because you're not helping the driver. You're just making them nervous and you're making them more anxious and you're putting yourself and everyone in that car in more danger by bothering them.
I just wonder.
So I'm done with it. Done.
Hey, listen,
I'll take a flight.
you're allowed to have your prerogative birthday by Bobby Brown. I just think that I just look at it. But see, when you're on these open roads, when you're going around LA, it's different, right? Because it's a crowded 101 or the 405 or in Jersey Turnpike or the BQE, some shitty highway. When you're in the middle of nowhere.
I drove 4.5 hours. Sorry, stat keeper Jordan hit me up.
In the
4.5
middle,
hours.
If you're in the middle of nowhere, meaning Idaho to California or Texas to Arizona, and there is nothing, we're talking straight road.
Yeah, but for as much of a problem people like you or Spot or Jordan or whoever would have with my grandpa driving, I have the exact problem with what I consider reckless driving. Like, yo, do you not care about this guy could stop short at any moment and that could end all of our lives? Do you not care about that? Because I do. But I keep my mouth shut because I know it's not going to help this situation. And dude, there was a really scary situation. And Jordan does have a set of nuts on her when it comes to this. But again, she grew up on these long fucking journeys and travels. I did not. I don't like them. Dude, I saw this storm coming in from the left. Tornado winds, bro. I'm like, what is going on? Dude, we were caught.
Tornado?
We were caught. We couldn't see 10 feet in front of us.
That's scary. That's when you drive 20 miles an hour.
For like an hour, and she's still going 65, right in front of a tractor trailer. I'm like, that's what she wants to do. That's not what I want to do. People are different. But I think everybody should mind their business because you let the driver drive.
Well, the strategy we had was
otherwise you make me nervous.
I was left laning it whole way, 5 to 10 miles an hour over. That's the Sarah and Rich strategy, I guess. And then if anyone was speeding up on us, I safely dipped to the right lane, let them pass. And then when it was clear, right back in the left lane, Shazam me. And I think when you're going 60, though, I'll agree with some of the feedback. If you are going 60 something.
I was going, there was at one point, Again, because I had just gotten off the
If
feeling
you're going
of
under the speed
when
limit,
you're conscious of the road and you're like, do I focus on the car in front of me, the road, the road, I feel fucking wind. When you're overthinking in that minute, and my car was swaying for a good like half hour, it's gonna take you a minute to just chill and like, when you're on mental cruise control and you're not even thinking about it. So that was the adjustment at that point. There are many times when I'm going over the speed limit, but it's what I feel comfortable with. It's not what the fucking signs say.
It's odd you would say that because Sarah and I disagree on one thing when it comes to our, what do we do, 20-something hours to Texas? We disagree on one thing. She is not a cruise controller, and I am. She's like, I'll just always want to, I want to
feel it.
I guess feel it. And I'm like, to me,
I use it and I don't.
I'll be like 84 set. And I'm like, and then Waze will tell you if there's cops. So, for the most part, Waze is pretty good about police ahead so you could slow down.
I don't like those long ass fucking trips. They're
the worst, man. I agree. Listen,
they feel unsafe. They're not meant for you and your shitty little Civic. And,
well, that's also
high winds.
I'll be honest, that's also
shaking. And I don't like that.
That's a factor.
I'm high intensity. I have super sensitive eyes. I could barely keep them open long enough.
That's a factor. What you just said, your little Civic, and no shame in your little Civic getting around town, but sometimes on the highway, I'll be honest, maybe that is the difference between an SUV or a truck or something versus your little Civic, because a little Civic could make you feel a little vulnerable out there, like me, and you're on the
Jordan doesn't care. I care. I do. I don't feel safe in that thing. Can't control that. So cruise control, that's an option. I do use that, but the point is,
you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
I've worked a long time. You can't say hard because this has been fun, but I put in a lot of time, thousands of hours, which makes me an expert. To say, fuck that, I'm taking a 2-hour flight moving forward. There's no need for this fucking back and forth. The only reason I drove anyway is because I had extra miles on my lease.
Why
but
not?
You work hard for convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that road trip. It's not worth it. And it's unsafe.
Now, here's the
thing. I don't feel
thing.
good about it. And you get aggravated. And you just feel relief when you get home because it's an excursion. You're like,
here's the thing.
Why put yourself at risk like that?
So now, after all these years, not only do you watch The Bachelor now,
I can't wait.
You're also
got to catch up.
You're going to be the one that's flying with dogs now.
No. I mean, unless I have to.
Well, if you go to Idaho, what are you going to do?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. But again, that's Jordan. She'll be holding it.
Again.
She'll be holding it. You want more proof that it's her dog and not my dog?
Yeah.
Guess who's met that dog? Everyone in her family.
What, were you going to bring the dog to Jersey?
I'm just kidding.
Hey,
But by the way, on a positive, the dog was well behaved. The dog was fantastic. The dog slept for 13 hours. Didn't even make a peep. It's a great dog.
Can't beat that.
I'm starting to love it. It's a great dog. So, I mean, that's nothing new to me either. You realize I traveled almost every weekend with 2 little shitty chihuahuas. All the time. And when I say all the time, and it sucked my ass.
Chihuahua.
Yeah. So the only thing is I didn't know, Rich, that there's all these sorts of permission slips you have to get approved now to get your dog on the plane. You can't just show up with your dog.
Well, you never could just show up with your dog.
I used to just show up with my dog all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know about
you had
never.
to fill out forms ahead of time. It's a process. It's always been a process.
Never. I never did, ever.
Oh.
So unless I got away with it always, it wasn't always a process. But there's a chance that I just always got away with it. Because I would just carry this stupid little thing with 2 dogs in it. But I find that hard to believe. So you work hard for convenience. Stop fucking
You're
being
done
the
road
cheapskate.
tripping it.
Done. It's not safe. I'm glad I made it home safely. The end part of the trip was fine. When
did you leave? What time?
Right
what
after
time
our show.
and you got home
right
when?
after our show. 1 a.m. Almost
Jeez.
1 a.m. Jordan said I set us back about 40 minutes. But I don't give a fuck because I got us there safely.
So her assessment is doing the mileage. You would have got her.
I'm not racing Google Maps. It's not a race against Waze. If that's your mission, then you drive. And that applies to everybody. That's why I don't like driving with Spot. That's why I don't like driving with Rich. That's why I don't like driving with anybody. When Jordan's sleeping, guess what I'm doing? chilling, listening to my music,
45 miles an hour,
chilling,
feeling the road.
But you're supposed to feel comfortable when you're driving, not like you're.
Yeah, but you don't think you're a little paranoid?
If that's how I am,
Okay, well, I'm
then
saying,
leave
yeah.
me. Then
No, but
even
that's-
more reason to leave me the fuck alone, right? Like that's it.
Well,
hey, I don't feel safe.
can we agree
after
you're not
over
cut out?
70 miles an hour?
You're not cut out for road trips
No,
or driving
you don't
high
cut- I'm cut
volumes
out
and
for
speeds.
just driving. I don't need to fuck. I'm not in a race. You know, I'm not in a race here. Am I in a race to die? I'm good on that.
Yeah, but-
I'm not. I'm good. So anyway, my point is, the takeaway is, the trip was wonderful. As you saw, I'm now the fly and fly fisherman. I had a great time. Her family's wonderful. They treat me great. Jordan and I had a blast. The doggy was fantastic. The journey of it, the excursion of it, it's fucking annoying. I don't like it. You know, there's wonders of it. If I could just sit there and chill,
wonder
which I
of
do
it
for the
all.
most part, I'm not going to lie about it. It's 13 hours. I drove 4 or 5 hours. Actually, no. Yeah, about that. So the views are wonderful. They really are.
I said
I'm
to
not-
Sarah the other day, I
I'm
go,
not
look
trying
at
to-
those mountain formations. I was like,
Yeah.
they're both magical.
Yeah, and the weather elements, that was fascinating.
I saw something
But-
the other day on the road that Sarah's like, are you dumb? You don't know that? I'm like, well, I never saw it maybe like this. I saw it to the left of me was sunny.
Yeah.
To the right of me
It's like a storm.
was sunny. No,
Oh,
everything's, and like right ahead of us was a dark cloud. And I could see, just because it was such an open, straight, flat road, I'm like, babe, I could see literally where the rain is falling. Like, it was just an area. To the left of it was not. I was like, I could see the actual.
It's the open road.
Yeah, I was like, I could see the actual rain cloud.
You see in landscape
And
mode.
where, I was like, look, not raining there, not raining there. But from there to there, don't you see like the rain is falling like under that one cloud? You see
It's
some
wild.
magical things on the
I'm
road.
not, I'm not downplaying the magic of the open road and the beauties and wonders of the earth and the mountain formations and oh, look at that beautiful lake. Some of those visuals are amazing. That's not my point. My point is 13 hours in the car, the frustrations involved, the bickering of. I also feel like whoa, you know, because I don't like it when Jordan's trying to pass a semi truck.
Yeah.
Because we're behind it a long time. Yo, she passed 3 like wide load fucking things. It's so nerve wracking.
You're a little much.
I
know
but I keep my.
you.
You know what? But I keep my mouth zipped.
If you're probably like,
Yeah, I don't like it, but I keep my mouth shut because is it going to help this intense moment already? No. So you work hard in life. Fly there. That's it. Fly there. And that goes for like, hey, Jordan, you're going to visit your family? Fly there. I'll chip in on it because I want you there safely.
you know,
Because I can't be the only one that's struggling just to keep their eyes open. Not because I'm tired.
some people like
because
the road. Some people like doing it.
Again, well, then you have to understand that not everybody
You're
does.
not. Someone hit us up and said, it's wild how
I'm good sitting there.
based on where you were raised, like someone from New York or New Jersey
I'm stop and go guy.
could have no problem navigating through hobos and homeless and bad neighborhoods and they feel comfortable, but going over 65 miles an hour, you're like, oh!
I mean, dude,
Like-
I grew up driving in New York. I was a van driver for K-Rock, New York City. I drove the streets of Manhattan and New York City and the highways of New Jersey and New York City in the tri-state area. That's stop and go nonsense. This open road shit just isn't for me. I don't like it. It doesn't feel safe, but to each his own. Priv alone.
Ray said,
Fly there.
I'm from Florida. I could see a hurricane on one side, then 110 and sunny on the other. It was weird because
That
when
is
when
crazy.
you are on such an open road, I was amazed by it. Sarah's like, you've never seen that? I'm like, I've seen some pretty dope storms and things, but I've never seen sunshine, a little area, like an isolated area where it was dark and I saw the rain falling and then on the other side was sunny. I'm like, when it's so flat, you could see a cloud with rain moving.
I can't believe
wild,
the
yeah.
storm that Jordan rode through. I would assume, this is my guess, 7 out of 10. I can't be sexist about this. 7 out of 10 people might have pulled over. It was that bad. I was like, fuck this. Because you couldn't see in front of you for a good 20 minutes, if not a half hour. I'm like, and I'm there like, ugh. tight ass butthole.
Well, hey.
Just letting her do her thing, but it was scary as hell.
Some people have the need for speed.
I'm not.
Some
born
don't.
with
See,
that.
I'm different.
I have the need for chill.
I'm different in that it depends on the mission. Like, all right, I'll be.
I mean, is it a big surprise? You're like the most wound up,
No, but I'm
tightest butthole guy I ever met.
I'm with you on one account and then not. And to wrap it up, I'll say it this way. When we're driving around California, we're driving 20 minutes to somewhere for dinner and spots zipping through people going 80.
Yeah, I don't like that.
To me, not worth it. Because if you go...
To me, he's a jerk off.
No, but
behind the wheel.
If you go 60-something, 70-something, or 80-something, you're not going to make up much time if you go into Burbank for dinner. So to me, speeding to Burbank for dinner, meaningless.
But I'd rather sit and deal with his jerk off aggressive driving than hear him complain because I want to punch him in the nose. So
No.
that's why I'm like, all right, then you drive.
But my point is, speeding locally to go to a restaurant 15 minutes away,
Yeah.
to me, foolish. Like, what are you really making up? 2 minutes? But if you're going 13 hours to Idaho, that's where you and I are like, I set it on as fast as I feel as possible, straight road, let's go. Because Jordan's right. Over the long term, you may have lost an hour. And you're thinking, who gives a shit? To me,
I don't care.
An hour makes a difference.
Getting there alive. Being there for my kid because I'm alive now. Rolando's right, though. Jordan would make a great truck driver. She really would.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great driver. But again, she's grown up doing this trip. I'm not made from that cloth. I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it. I work hard, or let's say I've worked far enough into my career where I could fly there.
Well,
and that's my choice moving forward.
that goes along with
Unless
something.
I can sit there and chill.
That goes along with something my buddy Sean recently said to me, and I want to know what your thoughts on this are.
Go ahead.
Being that it is your birthday, so maybe a lot of reflection. Yesterday, today, tomorrow.
I'm trying to stay out of the mirror today.
You look good for 46.
I don't know. I'm fucking sick of it. Sick of that too.
I if I were you, I'd retire the age.
Yeah, Jordan's stepdad asked me like in front of everybody, "Yeah, how old are you again?" I'm like, "Yeah, picture that." Yeah, hey, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna advertise this right now. I'm good. Thank you.
Man.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
I was like, not much younger than you, probably.
From the looks of the picture of you and Len on Facebook, he looks like he's your friend.
Well, Len is her real dad. Her stepdad asked me, "Oh, how old are you gonna be again?"
Well, Len, the guy that took you fishing, Jordan's dad.
Oh, he looks
To
great.
me, he looks like a handsome 48, 50-year-old. And I'm like, this guy looks like he if he was at your high school reunion, he'd be one of the better looking people.
Yeah, he could be someone in my graduating class for sure.
So my buddy Sean has a theory, and it sort of goes along with this. I wasn't even going to bring it up. But if I were you for real, I'm not trying to make you feel bad that you're 46, but 46 is the first like scary age so far in the extent of our show.
Wasn't there some unofficial study where you said you read after 40, if you make it past 48, you should be good? Isn't that like the magic health number?
Someone in the sports world told us that like a lot of people, if you avoid health implications until you're like late 40s, you're usually pretty good until 60s. Like there's times in your life where things pop up. So 46 to me.
That's how many miles per hour I was going in the 80.
Yeah, you drive your age.
Jordan hit me up. She said her biggest complaint was the semi-trucks were passing me. She's like, you can't have semi-trucks passing you.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Well, hey, what I was feeling good about.
You're in the right lane. You're in the right lane.
In
And trucks
I also realized that when someone's there looking over your shoulder, again, I don't care if it's your fucking mom, your Aunt Tilly, Grandpa Jack, whoever's there, if they're fucking looking at your speedometer and watching your driving, makes me anxious. I really want to say in a polite way, mind your business, take a nap, and I'll be fine. Because that's when all that feeling for me goes away. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be thinking about my driving. When you're thinking about your driving, that's when it gets nerve-wracking. So I digest. Continue. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, I was going to say, to me, the other day on Fox, you said, I'm 46. And I'm like, man, I think that's the first age where I'm like, yeah, don't say that.
Yeah, I don't want to say it anymore. I'm good.
Because you don't look 46.
I retired my age and I retired driving on road trips. I'll sit on a road trip.
If you say you're like 40-ish, that makes sense. 46 just feels like way too like mid late 40s.
Sucks ass. Yeah, 'cause
So-
it's closer to 50. That's
Yeah, so if I were you, if any time on Fox or any platform where it's not like your close pals,
yeah.
I would be like, yeah, I'm 40-ish.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
40-ish.
I'm at this point, I'm like, mind your business. Again, everybody needs to mind their business. So I'm done advertising it. It's officially done. Like Rich said, I retired and I'm retired. Yeah, retired saying that. How old are you again? I'm retired from saying that.
Yeah,
Thanks. I'm allergic to that. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm 40-ish.
40-ish something.
40-ish.
Yep.
And push when you went to when you go to high school. Oh, in the 90s, because that could be late 90s. They could be like, 98, 99, maybe,
Yeah, but it also works to my disadvantage sometimes because, like, on lithium, for example, a lot of times it's too young for that format. I'm like, what are you, fucking dumb? No, I'm not. These are all the albums I bought. Every single one of them. There's not a song on here that we play that I didn't buy, but they don't think of me as a 46-year-old guy.
I don't think you need to appeal to old guys that think you're not rocking old enough.
No. I'm talking about people who make decisions. I'm not trying to impress Frank from Philadelphia. I'm talking about the bosses. They're like, because they're old and crusty. They're like, hey, you're too young and fucking handsome to be remembering that stuff. I'm like, well, I do, and better than you probably. So Rich is right. I'm retired from it.
That's the age where I think it's like, all right.
Yeah, I almost don't want to thank anybody for their birthday wishes. I almost want to ignore it. And I'm definitely not sending that fucking corny ass, just want to say thank you for all the well. Fuck that.
No.
If I don't respond to you, it just means I'm ignoring it. But thank you very much. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I retared from that too. Come here.
You don't want to be that.
At 46, I'm really strong on my opinions.
That's just how it is. You don't want to be that annoying woman that's like 29 again or some corny shit. But to be honest, acknowledging anything beyond 40-ish or so is sort of like, I don't know.
Closer to 50 sucks my balls.
I'm fucking rocking the Jackie Robinson. Next one for me.
What does that mean? Oh, 42.
42, yeah.
I'm rocking the Polly Walnuts,
Anything,
but just because I have gray sides.
Anything beyond 42 is fun. I hate that 43 is coming for me in a couple months. That's not fun.
43, the Andy Pettit? Fuck.
No,
I think he was 43.
38, wasn't he?
Andy Pettit was 43. That's what my gut tells me. And my gut is feeling nice after that weekend in Idaho. I do want to, end on a positive, though. Had a wonderful time. Jordan's family's wonderful. They really do like me a lot.
No, Andy Pettit, 46.
Ah!
Dude, you're Andy Pettit.
I'm Andy Pettit.
You're Andy Pettit. Look at that.
Who the fuck was 43?
Your sister goes 46, wasn't he?
He was,
he's
dog.
losing his mind.
You know what's funny?
JFK got killed when he was 46.
I remember who was number 43 on my high school football team.
By the way, maybe if JFK was driving faster, he wouldn't have died when he was 46.
I'm not about that life, man.
Step on it.
I know the Cliff Burton stories. There's no fucking rush to get anywhere. Being on the road is dangerous.
No one likes getting old. Now, my buddy Sean has a theory about this to finally get to that. It's the theory of, what are you waiting for? What are we waiting for? Best line ever when Adrian's out of the coma. Yo, like, if you don't want me mixing with Creed no more, we'll find another way.
Absolutely.
Just come here.
Yeah, Adrian, what do you want?
Just win. What are we waiting for? My buddy Sean says, what are we waiting for? Anything you want to do. What are you waiting to do when you're 60 or 70?
Do.
He's like, so many people are broke and they're in fucking cenotes driving Teslas. It's like, if you feel like you are a successful man or woman and you work your ass off and you're a good mom and dad, you're a good mom or dad, you're a good spouse, you're a good person, fucking treat yourself and do things now. Don't you rather enjoy that at 40-something than be like, well, I'll do it when I'm old, I guess. What do you fucking do? Like, my grandfather died never getting his Lincoln Town Car. I always think that. Like, he always loved Lincoln Town Cars, but he's like, yeah, one day. He always just got worried about other shit.
You hear that, Big Steve? Get your Tesla, or whatever the hell you want.
Come on.
You got your Tensia, get your Tesla.
So, point is, do what you want to do. It sounds like selfish and self-serving, but I'm not saying go broke and spend money you don't have.
I don't break my
Your Heine?
No. I have like codes that I live by. And I'm not like, for example, back to the previous conversation, I'm not breaking my code because you're aggravated with how I drive. Not happening.
Okay.
So that's where, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. It just is. And I like Sean's stance there.
Yeah. Because I said, oh man, your house is pretty opulent. My buddy that I visited on Long Island.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean you need to live outside your means.
No. I never said live outside your means.
But you brought that up.
But so many of us are. I feel like there's like one of two ways. I feel like no one lives right, and I say that because I'm not either. I feel like most people either live way beyond their means, and you look at those people and they're just so uncaring. Yeah, I got like tons of debt. You know, no 401k or future, but who cares? Hey ho! People either live that way or they do well and they're fucking busy counting their pennies and worried all the time.
Like we're filling in for Dan Patrick next week, right?
Yeah.
3 shows. Yeah, I'm doing that for the fucking fun of it or so that I could fly to my next wonderful trip to Idaho or to Jersey without any hassles and offs. That's kind of why I'm doing it, right? Otherwise, then what's the point?
Yeah.
For the high fives?
No. I mean, people do things for money.
That's fun, but you're doing it so that you can do those things without any worries.
Like I thought about it, right? Like Spot's in Bora Bora with his wife. And your first thought is like, whoa, opulent, Bora Bora. But then I think, well, Spot's 42.
No, I still think that. That's a $15,000 trip.
But who cares?
I mean, obviously not
He has no kids.
I would. It's $15,000 I could put into my house or something.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a house.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a kid to pay for. There's parents that are paying a couple grand a month on childcare.
Plus, that dude has all those stock options that worked out for him from SiriusXM.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we've mentioned about Spot, but not everyone thinks about. That dude's got some flow.
Some people got lucky with certain things, but the point is, I feel like people are... It's like politics. People are either super woke fucking maniac liberals or they're conservative fucking wild maniacs.
Fuck them assholes.
No one lives logic. No one does anything in the middle or logically, right? People are either counting their pennies. Oh, look at all the money I have in my account, and oh my God, I'm going to save for that day. Or they are $100,000 in debt and don't give a shit.
So what's Sean's theory again to wrap it up?
His theory is, when do you want to really have these great things? You want to wait until you're like 60 or 70? God willing, you live that long? Or it's like, or do you want it now? When do you want that dope setup? When do you want
how I feel?
Day? And I'm like,
can I narrow that down that focus? It's like, how many years am I really going to be in my condo? 3 or 4 more?
I don't know.
Maybe, right? It's not my forever home. But while I'm there, I want to enjoy it, right? The analogy to life. While I'm here, I want to enjoy it. While I'm in this condo, I want to enjoy it. So what am I waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Fix up the shit that I want to fix up now. What do I got to do? Fix it up for the asshole who has it next?
I mean,
I want to enjoy that shit.
That's why I came back. I came back to LA with a new mindset, and the new mindset is, if you feel like your retirement and your future is healthy, if you feel like you've done a decent job like saving and investing, and you feel like you're doing all right, then you know what? Enjoy life now. I came back here and I wrote down 2 things that I'm actually investigating right now. I'm like, I want to figure out a good indoor-outdoor surround sound system, and I want to figure out the right setup for a grilling station, whether it's a Traeger or a Green Egg or a new grill. I want to set up these things.
Jordan's dad hit him up.
Yeah?
Seriously,
he knows his stuff.
He bought Colton a sweet ass pellet Traeger.
Our
Works
buddy,
with the apps, and I didn't even know they were that advanced.
Yeah,
I had no clue.
Well, if you looked at my Instagram story over the weekend, our buddy Nico, he cooked honestly the tastiest filet mignons I've ever had on the Traeger, and he's like, because you really can't fuck it up, because the way it heats the meat, you're not going to burn anything. And I said to myself, as soon as I go back, and then I'm looking, without being judgy, I put down on social media yesterday, hey guys, I'm looking for an indoor-outdoor sound system where I could listen to music in the backyard by the pool and the barbecue. I could listen in the kitchen. I could set it up to my TV. What type of system would you get? The amount of people. And by the way, overwhelming, I wrote it down. Like we're talking like the most overwhelming answer when you ask people shit on social media. So a lot of times I don't even answer your question. They'll just give you their own fucking spiel.
Mm-hmm.
Overwhelming. Sonos.
I love my Sonos
Sonos.
I love it.
And then I looked online. I'm like, man, a legit system's thousands of dollars. And then I'm like, every one of these people was just like thousands of dollars on surround sound. I'm like, you know what? Because people don't care. So why should I? Do you think every single person, the hundreds of people that are like Sonos, you think all those people just had extra money laying around? Or you think they're like, fuck it, I want it. And I'm just going to charge it.
They're just living.
Just
Their
living.
best life.
So
that's why I'm the YOLO Cholo moving forward.
what I'm saying is
YOLO Cholo.
Live your best life, everyone. I'm
no
saying,
longer the culito chulito.
I'm not saying be reckless with a midget hanging from your necklace. I'm not saying be reckless. Like the rock band with the girl from, what is she from?
Pretty reckless.
Pretty Reckless from
Taylor Momsen?
Taylor Momsen.
Cindy Lou who?
Yeah. I'm not saying be reckless, but I am saying enjoy life a little bit. Don't be the person that's like, well, I'm 90 and I got $4 million. Like, who gives a fuck if you have $4 million when you die? Unless you dead you is going to get off on the idea of leaving that to everyone.
Hear that, Big Steve? Get your BMW. Don't listen
You
to
hear
10.
that?
Get your BMW. What are you talking about? I tell him to get his BMW. No, you don't. You make him feel guilty about it. Let him get his BMW.
Yeah,
What does Dad have?
when
A
my
good 10 years?
dad when my dad went
Maybe a good
to
5?
When my dad went to his wedding in Belarus and he did his little world tour, I was like,
With Muhammad as man?
I was like, fly first class. Do whatever. Treat yourself to everything you possibly could. You deserve it. So there you go. Ba-boom.
Ba-bam.
Shazammy. Ba-boom. Yeah,
Rich has 2 older Sonos speakers.
maybe
you
components
could,
to what I have.
Maybe you could integrate them with something new. I don't know.
If they don't work, I'll give them to you. I know you won't.
No,
but if they don't work, but I looked it up and I'm like, all right. So
I'll
if I
buy
get,
them
so
off
if
you
I
if you're
get
not
the,
gonna use them,
if I
but
get like the sound
if you
bar,
could integrate them into something
but I'm
else.
saying, if I get like the sound bar, woofer, and like 4 speakers for here, and then a couple for outside, that when you look at it, it's like I think that's like a couple grand easy.
or a dual channel receiver, which is what some tech nerd might tell you. You know, and I don't know what's better. I really don't. I know I'm very happy with my Sonos, but I use it just for indoors.
So what I'm saying, guys, is live your best life. Upgrade to tier 2.
There you go. Thank you. Covino and Rich.
No, but for real though, don't be a frivolous idiot, but also don't be so conservative where you're not having money, right?
Hey, I have a question for you as we move on, and we'll read feedback at Covino and Rich, at Steve Covino, at Rich Davis. It's a spotless show. He's in Bora Bora doing the backstroke, posing naked. This guy, who is this guy?
Hold on, I gotta find this just for people.
Honestly,
I'll give my.
who
actually,
is this guy?
Can you get a one? I'll give you a one shot.
Like, I don't know what's weirder. Spot flexing with a popped collar, posing naked on vacation, or me in waders. You be the judge. I don't know.
Can you go to his Instagram story and I'll give you the one
I don't
shot?
want to. It's gross.
All right,
I mean, I'm glad he's having a good time.
I
but-
really can't do it both on my phone, but I'll try. If you don't want to play along, hold on. Spot with his ass sticking out. Hold on.
Spot posed nude on vacation.
One shot. Boom. Okay. Spot on his vacation with his wife.
He's setting thirst traps.
This is to me. Wait, hold on. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, there's some biscuits. Look at this picture. I know you can't see. Hey, that's mad ass.
Looks like someone caught an albino walrus.
What is he's showing rear dog to the point where he has to. By the way, the next picture was a hot dog. There he is showing man ass. He's laying with a little blur over what looks like his rear dog hanging out. And where is he? Pop collar and all. Oh, and he had time to take a gym selfie on vacation. And there he is with a pop collar. So, Spot living his best life. Playgirl magazine on location. Seems like it.
I guess.
His ass was just out.
Yeah.
Balls hanging around. He was sunning his brown eye.
He's sunning his perineum.
Yeah.
Or perineum.
Maybe that's good for you.
I don't know. People say it is. Hey, speaking of brown guy lighting and white guy lighting, which we were fighting about before.
Yeah.
Let's show them the example. Show them the difference, by the way. Let's see if we could do a live
On what, this?
test. Yeah, fiddle with that thing that's broken.
Oh, yeah.
So look at Rich and look at me. I say it makes me look great. Makes Rich look like pasty white albino.
Oh, yeah, because it's blue.
See?
Blue
Look
lighting.
at me. I look fantastic in this.
Blue lighting is just the most unflattering lighting there is. That's why you'll never see a blue light on a set unless it's a horror
I
movie.
gotta tell you, I'm torn on something. I'm very torn. As a half-breed, slightly vato guy in the middle, it gives me perspective that most don't have. I'm able to see both sides in a lot of things, in a lot of ways. And sometimes you want to be on one team, sometimes you want to be on the other, depending on how you see it, right? But again, I'm very much in the middle. Orale, the YOLO Cholo, right? But let's be real. I was fly fishing with a bunch of white folk
Yeah.
this weekend, right?
You were the only guy wearing a baseball hat.
I'm white passing. Whatever. To me, that's insulting sometimes. People say that to me. Like, so passing, what do you mean passing? Like, I passed your test? What does that mean? I passed your approval? What does that mean? I don't like it. Something about that itches my asshole.
I've
I don't
never
like
heard
it.
that phrase.
White passing? Yeah, because you're white. Me, people don't know what to think. You assume one thing because you know me.
Who said you were white passing?
I've heard that a million times.
You passed for a white guy.
Yeah, I'm white
that insulting?
passing, and it's been a common sentiment in the news lately. If you've been following John Leguizamo, now I love John Leguizamo.
God, he's like
He's a fucking talent,
eye rolling,
right? But a talent. Eye rolling what?
Oh no, I'm saying like I feel like him ranting on things is always very eye rolly.
Well, that's
He's very woke.
That's where I'm heading.
He's a woke. He's a woke
Here's the
vato.
thing. The fucking. Yeah, of course, Preston, you don't know the term white passing because you're white. No one's trying. You passed the fucking
she's
test.
whiter than me with a blue light.
You passed. So, like, and when people say that as so cavalierly, I'm like, passing what? Your approval? What did I pass?
I'm pretty sure they mean that you look like a white guy.
I get it,
Yeah.
but I don't like it. Like, what makes you think I want to? I'm very happy looking how I look. I'm not trying to pass any sort of approval. Right? So to me, it rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it.
He's
But I
white,
know
he's
that a
white
lot of-
passing, Johnson.
I know a lot of people don't mean it from a bad place, but I don't like it. And I also know that it probably works to my benefit a lot of times. Like, ooh, he's slightly vato, but white passing. So I'll roll with it. I don't really care, but I don't like it. There's a story in the news, and I'm torn on it because I am the middle guy. Of course, I want to be on Tom. I want to be on Tom Hardy. I want to be on Team John Leguizamo, but I don't like overly woke speaking
Yeah.
and takes and views. Like, it's like,
He's a super liberal dude. Like,
but he's
yeah.
also speaking on behalf of Latinos and what's good for Hispanic people. And I also want to be on that team and say, fuck yeah. Viva la raza. And yeah, brown guys, go get them. I love supporting my brown guys because I love the support. Here's why. I love the support that I get from Hispanic people. Am I worthy of all that respect and praise sometimes? I don't know. I'm me. That's all I know. But when I see the support I get from my Mexican friends and my Hispanic friends that support the show and support me, and in a way like I make them proud or I can relate to them in some weird way, then I'm going to roll with that, and that's awesome, and that means a lot to me. That being said, John Leguizamo is now calling out James Franco. Now, I'm going to make it very clear. He has already said he doesn't have a problem with James Franco. But
Doesn't have a problem, but
I want to get all the quotes straight here. John Leguizamo, who I love and admire, demands no more cultural appropriation after James Franco was casted as Fidel Castro. And then he goes on this rant about how there has been so many roles. And you know, it is like, wow, it's a brown eye opener, pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
How many white roles were given, how many Hispanic roles, were given to white people in history, in cinematic history? From West Side Story to this Fidel Castro movie, right? so many white actors have played Latinos and Hispanics and brown people throughout history. And Hollywood was like, oh, they don't want to have this Hispanic man. Hollywood's not going to vibe with this Hispanic guy. And now he's saying, enough of that. There's plenty of Latino actors available and ready and willing to play these Latino roles, which I get. But on the flip side of this conversation, I'm like, well, isn't it acting? Right? Can a guy play a fucking...
If James Franco has the look they're going for,
right? And he does.
or
you
he
can see him as Fidel Castro.
He sort of does look Castro-like, very Castro-like.
Yeah. When he has the scruff, the picture with a hat on. You know, it's acting. You're pretend. So the other side of me, one side of me says, yeah, I totally see what Leguizamo's saying. Look at all these white people. Like Natalie Wood played a Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. The dude who played Bernardo, and he was white. I didn't even know that. Right? And he literally, they make him look brown. Mm-hmm. You know, and then movie after movie after movie, white guys playing Hispanic guys. And that is an eye-opener. But at the same time, I'm like, it's acting. It's acting.
So that means Leguizamo should no longer be able to play an Italian guy or a white guy. You have to stick to your...
That's why I'm torn on it, guys. You know, I really am. And maybe me being me, that's why I explained, is extra torn on it because I want to be on Leguizamo's team. I don't want to not be on his team and fight for the right of the underdog. Yeah, fuck that. Give it to a Latino guy. But then there's a part of me that's like, hey, but wait. If I was an actor, I could play anything.
Yeah, what about our dude Cliff Curtis? Did I remember his name? Did I actually not forget?
I know Cowboy Curtis.
Wait, Cliff Curtis. If I'm right on this, I'm going to feel really proud of myself.
Raymond Trevor says, well, do you think blackface is okay? No, when did I say that? When did I say blackface was okay? Raymond. Oh. Is he talking to me?
Yo, you talking to me?
You talking to me?
Well,
when did I say that? But if I wanted to play a werewolf,
there's limits.
Can I play a werewolf?
If John Leguizamo, if they asked him to be in a movie as like a gangster, should he be like, well, I'm not Italian, so I can't audition? I think it is silly sometimes when like Brad Pitt or who played it? Was it
Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise played a samurai,
but he wasn't really a samurai. He was the last samurai.
Point is, there's times where it's clear Hollywood just didn't want to use a minority actor or actress, but then there's other times where it's like. Well, so you have to stick to that? Like,
there was blatant racism. I'm not denying that.
And just Cliff Curtis, by the way. Cliff Curtis is the dude from Fear the Walking Dead, who we had on the show when that show first kicked off. He's a New Zealand actor. Mm-hmm. Remember, he's indigenous to New Zealand.
How do you remember that guy's name?
I forget what that's called. Indigenous.
Aborigine?
I'm not quite sure.
Where was he from? I remember, yeah.
New Zealand. But I do remember him being native where he said that he has played everyone from Italian, Puerto Rican.
How the frig did you remember
Black,
Cliff Curtis's name? He was great on that
Egyptian.
show.
He's played like pharaohs. He's done. Mm-hmm. He's played everything because he's so ethnically ambiguous. But yeah, Cliff Curtis.
Really cool guy.
I just remember him, being a guy that he's like, yo, no one knows what I am. Like Nicole from the Morning Mash Show. People think Nicole's Spanish. People think she's Puerto Rican.
Of the Maori descent. His tribal affiliations are Te Arawa and Niki Hawiti. I don't know, man. McCoy Island.
Mm-hmm. Aboriginal.
Well, I said that, but it doesn't say that here. I'm reading his bio. Now, let's be real about it. Let's really break it down. I'm sure there were plenty of roles where they could have casted a Hispanic guy to play a Hispanic person.
No doubt.
But Hollywood wasn't ready for it. Racism was a thing.
Of course.
That's not right. It's not okay. I think we've come a long way from then.
Especially also in the Asian community, right? I mean, Asian actors are getting lead roles. So we've made the right changes. But
now, don't you still, there's a part of you that still feels like, well, shouldn't the best guy get the job? And if the best guy is James Franco and he's pretending
to be that,
because that's what acting is.
It's all pretending.
It's pretending. Then why does he have to be of X or Y ethnicity?
Yeah.
But then again, there's a part of me that's like, well, give him the job. So I'm very torn on this, to be honest, guys. And it is an interesting story, and I wanted to bring it up to you. So John Leguizamo is speaking out, and you got to give him credit for that because he's fighting for his people. But at the same time, he's also saying, yeah, but look, I want to make it very clear. I'm not against James Franco at all.
What if someone played you in a movie? Steve Covino.
Yeah.
And the person that was best suited for the role wasn't Mexican or Italian. What if they just found some Puerto Rican dude or some white dude that looked enough like you? Like,
to me, then he's
the better person for the role,
pretending to be this Mexican Italian guy. You know, it's kind of interesting, is how I feel about it.
The consensus is best person for the role, and people said blackface is not allowed unless you're Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. He's the one dude.
Well, and then in that same, whoever brought that up before, it actually is an interesting thought, because if blackface, again, we got to be consistent on these things, right? So if blackface is totally a no-no, no one's debating that it's not, then brownface, should that be accepted? See, that's the other thing, man. Like, sometimes it's just on principle. Well, hold on. If we can't do blackface and that's just the rule, then why is it okay to do brownface? So if that's where Leguizamo's coming from, like principle, just the fucking principle of it, let's be consistent, then I get it, right? So yeah, why is it okay for some fucking white guy to all of a sudden, tan up his face and all of a sudden he's Lalo from Breaking Bad? Lalo's fantastic, by the way.
Lalo.
You know what I mean? Like, so that shouldn't be right then. So if it's a matter of principle, but I don't think that's where Leguizamo's coming from. Leguizamo's basically saying, hey, man, a Cuban guy should play the Cuban guy. And I'm saying, well, why? If it's pretend. I see both sides of the coin. I really do.
I think...
but Leguizamo's very woke.
He's very woke, but he's also, a good advocate for his community.
Reggie says, sorry, Covino, you would never be cast as a white character. Says you, Reggie, but I'm white passing, apparently.
You're, Many people have said it.
Many people have said that. And clearly that's an honor, I think.
Let's see. Yeah. Putting makeup on Franco is not going to be okay for a lot of people. Hey,
if it's a matter of consistency, Rich, then all right. So as I try to find my true feelings on that, right? If it's a matter of consistency, then fuck that. Give it to a Cuban dude. Again, they're saying Pedro Pascal, Mando. Mando. A lot of people want to see Mando or Trudeau because he looks like him.
Mando's great.
But people want to see Pedro Pascal as Fidel Castro.
Oh.
If it's a matter of principle, like, hey, if we can't do that with black people, why is it okay with Hispanic people? Then I'm Team Leguizamo all the way. If it's just a little crybaby, like, wow, we got to be ethnically appropriate?
Well, I have a good question for you that's a little off of this, but not. So Sarah and I are watching a show on Netflix.
Yeah.
We actually finished it. 8 episodes. They're a half hour.
Hey, bro, Benjamin Bratt wasn't Mexican. He's playing a Mexican. He's not Mexican. I don't think he's Mexican at all. Vatos locos forever. No one cares. People are way too fucking woke and serious about everything.
Sarah and I watched Uncoupled on Netflix. And I'm a huge Neil Patrick Harris fan, but I think the show should be called not Uncoupled. I think it should be called Very, Very, Very Gay. And I got no problem with it, but it is just, if you're like an old school cat that's uncomfortable with that stuff, you will not like this show. But I was wondering, based on that, every episode, there's multiple scenes where there's like dudes getting it on.
Sweet.
And I wonder of the actors in the show.
Yeah.
What percentage of them are gay, or what percentage of them are straight dudes that are like, yeah, I'm in a Neil Patrick Harris show on Netflix and I'm like making out with dudes? Should they be...
John Ritter played a fantastic game, man.
No, but should they be...
He was playing pretend.
Should they be genuine gay dudes?
If it's a matter of consistency,
well,
right?
No, but I'm saying, like, all right, so this show, like Neil Patrick Harris is newly single at a later age. It's sort of like a comedy, but like a serious comedy where after all these years, he's like a single gay dude again. His longtime partner leaves him in the first episode. No spoiler. But you just see...
All good. I'm never watching it anyway.
You just see throughout the whole series how everywhere he goes, it's just like they pin the gay community as like the most horny fucking people on earth. I'm actually curious. I was actually going to call one of my buddies today and be like, yo, I know you always talk about how gay dudes are just it makes it seem like if you're a good looking gay dude, every day of your life is like, who am I going to fuck today? And all these guys, I wonder if do they cast gay people or are they like, hey, handsome guy, how do you feel about, tonight I'm fucking dudes. No, I wasn't expecting straight sex, Brett. I was watching the show, but I'm saying I wonder if all these actors, based on the Covino Leguizamo theory of every Latino role should be given to a Latino man. If this show is based on the gay community,
but where's the acting in that?
No, but I'm saying
right. The acting would be in someone of not that ethnicity portraying someone. You know what I mean? It's like that's what acting is. So you're basically saying, no, we don't want acting. Yeah. We want the real thing. So then it's not acting. Mm-hmm. Like this fucking whole world is upside down. It's Stranger Things. It's not that serious. If you could find a Cuban guy who's great for the role, then that's awesome. You lucked out. But if not, because James Franco is better at pretending to be and more convincing, then like what the fuck is the issue? And by the way, for the fun of it, Benjamin Bratt, Vato Loco forever.
Yeah.
What do you think he is?
Benjamin
Bratt? He portrayed a Mexican. But again, Hispanics are Hispanics to a lot of people. It's all good, right?
Benjamin Bratt, probably like German. I don't know. What is Benjamin Bratt?
How the fuck did you guess that? Did you look it up?
No.
He's Peruvian. His mom's Peruvian.
Yeah.
And his dad is German and English.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But he's not as white passing as Steve Covino.
No, he's not.
No, he's fucking Black Rooster.
But by the way, that show, Uncoupled,
yeah,
Neil Patrick Harris, likable show if you like Neil Patrick Harris. But again, just for older folks that are uncomfortable, I could see like people being like, nope.
I'm going to make Rich uncomfortable.
Yeah, please do.
Because this is what Rich does to me all the time. And on Fox Radio, like without any warning, he does it all the time.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think about it? Like, I told you, my whole setup was I'm in the middle, so I'm torn on how to feel. If it's a matter of principle and being consistent, then yeah, why should brown people take it up the ass if you can't do that with black people and everything else and so on and so forth? But at the same time, I see that as acting.
I think opportunities should be presented where everyone gets a fair shot. Now, if a whole casting team of people say, hey, we've seen Cuban actors, Mexican actors, Puerto Rican actors, and no one, no person of color is really hitting home with this role. And then James Franco comes in and reads, and you're like, oh, man.
And he's a better actor,
I think that's ridiculous. A guy...
It's pretend.
Like
you fucking idiots.
Like Fidel Castro
I'm convinced.
Fidel Castro doesn't necessarily look like the most Hispanic guy. So I think James Franco could pass. I don't know.
Look, he's a Cuban guy.
Cuban
guy. Are a mix of Spanish and there's a lot of black Cubans. They're a mix. It's an interesting story to say the least. As a guy who leans slightly vato, leans like a cholo, you are expected to see it only Leguizamo's way.
All right.
There's two sides to this coin.
Agreed. If you ask me, what do you think? I think that best man or woman gets the job if everyone gets a fair entry point and opportunity. If you said, we saw all these, we originally wanted this character. There's been times where they're like, we want this character to be such and such, and someone else just nails it so much that they change it. It could be like the neighbor on a sitcom where they're like, well, we were originally going to have the neighbor be, a doofy dude, and then we realized, man, this woman nailed the script. I think there was black people that auditioned for Seinfeld, and I think it just the chemistry wasn't there, but I think they were open to different backgrounds. I think didn't Chris Rock say he auditioned for the role of George?
I don't know that
I
story.
think so, yeah. Something.
Again, he says, I don't have a problem with Franco, but he ain't Latino, John Leguizamo. But it is shocking to see how many, and I am speaking out of both sides of my mouth, it is shocking to see how many white leads, like Ben Affleck played a Hispanic guy. What's his name? Jared Leto played Hispanic guy. Like so many roles that could have gone to Latino guys were probably overlooked, and that's not fair either. You know, that isn't fair. So
here's a
it's
good
tough,
question.
Man. I'm very torn on that.
Based on the movie or the role, Jason brings up a good point. How authentic does this person need to be? If it's a biopic about Selena.
Hey, J-Lo wasn't Mexican, but she was Hispanic. So,
but what I'm saying is, if it's a biopic, it's a little different than, hey, we're casting.
Just Christian Serratos was Mexican on the Netflix special.
True.
It doesn't have to be accurate.
All right.
Then, you know, if it is, then how much acting is involved in that? I don't know, man. Think about it. Make your own decisions. It's just good conversation.
Stick it in your ass and talk about it later.
Shove it up your asshole, smoke on it, and do a shot for me on my birthday.
I mentioned it before, but I know you said you were happy with your Sonos system.
Yeah.
Is there any other category where you could ask an open-ended question and it's so lopsided one way? Like, hey, what surround sound should I get? I told you, overwhelming Sonos. And they must just be so pleased with their customer service must just get compliments. That was the number one answer. When you ask any other question, like, what TV should I get? Hey, what car should I get? What this should I get? Any question, if you were to pose on social media, I feel like your answers would be all over the place. Sonos is that dominant in the sound game right now, huh?
They've upgraded.
They must be leaps and bounds ahead of people.
I have an older system that I still love, but I know they've upgraded. So they might even be better, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Paul Demetric says, is Superman supposed to be part alien if they cast him? I don't know.
I don't know.
I saw another one. I thought that was good too. Hold on. It's a biofilm. They have to look like the person. To me, that's the number one priority. And they have to be great actors, right? But if I'm watching a film about somebody, I want that guy to look like that guy.
That's the number one requirement.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Winning Time, if you watch Winning
ethnicity is,
the dude that played Magic Johnson on Winning Time had to be him.
Oh,
I don't care if it was another actor.
That's great.
I don't care if other actors were better. That dude is Magic Johnson to me. He had to play Magic Johnson.
You can't get a white guy to play Magic Johnson.
No, but I'm saying like, yeah, of course.
I just want to be like visually convinced it's the guy.
Me too.
By the way,
I saw the Mike Tyson one. I'm not convinced.
Oh, the Hulu trailer?
Yeah. No, I'm like.
Don't let Hulu fool you.
Yeah, I'm not feeling.
Don't let Hulu fool.
I'm not feeling the look of their Tyson.
I wasn't either, but I feel like he got some of the mannerisms down. Bill Jackson says Sonos is being sued by Google right now. Sonos is simple, Rashawn. Yeah, it's pretty user friendly. So therefore, I like it. Is it what Rich needs for a 2-channel system? I don't know. I can't answer that question. You need a pro.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into some stuff.
You could turn some speakers on and off, and so it might be. But I've never used it.
How many speakers do you use for your TV?
I got 2 behind me, right? Surround sound. I have the sound bar in front of me. 2 to the left and right, and 1 subwoofer. That's my whole system. That's my music. That's my surround sound.
Soundbar,
my TV.
2, 1, and then outside maybe 2. Yeah, it's probably a whole system. I'm sure they sell a bundle. So, all right.
No,
easy and no hassle. Sonos, yeah.
Sonos.
Bose is now number 2. I feel like for years Bose was number 1.
That Wave radio really put them over the top in the 90s.
So
people were way proud of their Wave radio back in the day.
I have like a life question, and I wonder how many people, dudes, how many people have gone through this or have seen their parents go through it or a friend.
I don't like that Neil Patrick Harris played a straight man on How I Met Your Mother.
How dare he?
Fuck that guy. Just kidding. I like Neil Patrick
I said to Sarah last night, there's moments on this show where he goes into Barney Stinson, and then I'm like, or is that just him?
Yeah.
Like there was a particular scene, I'm like, rewind that. I'm like, pretend he's not at a gay ski resort right now and there's not like dudes all around him. Listen to his voice. Listen to how he's playing it. Like, is that him, or is Barney Stinson just him exaggerated? Like, is he really acting? We've talked about this with who? Ray Liotta?
Acting. Guess what?
Just pretending.
Al Pacino's not Scarface. Al Pacino's not Carlito from Carlito's Way. It's acting, man. People get real sensitive. But I get it. I get it. Neil Patrick Harris is true talent, though. That's what I see. How about that? How about you appreciate the guy for his talent?
Oh,
Neil Patrick Harris? Talented guy.
Oh, my God. Super talented.
Nice guy. We've had him on the show.
Yeah.
I think he had the hots for Rich.
I think he did.
Because Rich was pretending to be gay.
I wanted to be on.
Rich was putting a little twinkle in his eye.
I'm gonna be on season 2 of Uncoupled.
Yeah, he
I'll
gays
be
it
his.
up.
I'm his new twink boyfriend.
Yeah.
NPH. Ended on a good note, by the way. If you like that show.
Oh yeah.
So I have a question about marriage and divorce in a second. Oh, but someone said something that I want to address. Oh, Boston Sal. Because I feel like Spot would be annoyed with the sound conversation. He told Rich he should get surround sound. And Rich said, I don't need it.
He said you should get your house wired because you were doing construction.
I know. Contrary to what you guys might think, and this is no disrespect to Spot or even Covino.
Why? He disrespects you all the time.
I know it sounds crazy, but I don't live my day-to-day life with like Spot's opinion in mind. Is that I'm not to sound rude, but like I don't make my decisions on my house, on this, on that, based on like a conversation I might have had with Spot a month ago on the radio. So when people say like, when people bring this stuff up, I'm like, yeah, it was like banter on our show. I came back from a trip.
You know what it is that people don't understand?
Other than the couple hours here?
Yeah, no, the opinions that we share are real.
Oh, yeah.
And they're in the moment, but they're in the moment, right? So whatever's said and whatever's felt in the moment, like you may say to yourself, man, Covino's really passionate about that John Leguizamo thing. Yeah.
You may never bring it up again.
In the moment, you think I'm going to get in my car and fucking think about that? No, not at all. It might come up in random passing conversation with Jordan later, and she may agree or disagree. But I don't give a diddly fuck about it.
Yeah, but it's not that we don't care. It's just in the moment.
It's just an in the moment.
If you ask me about my opinion on something, a great example would be.
Let me channel my real opinion.
A great example would be how Covino got all that hilarious press because he commented on Jeff McNeil's paternity leave.
I really don't give a shit about that.
But you were forced in that moment to give your opinion.
Yes, and it
and
was
you did,
real.
and it was a good, strong opinion, and the media picked it up like that.
Yeah. And now I'm like a bad guy. Like, yeah, whatever.
And again, no one really even knows.
So it's no disrespect to Spot.
Oh,
our conversations are in the moment.
Our buddy Nico pointed that. He goes, I love how one of his biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
Because it means so much to me that our buddy Nico listens because he's the guy that like helped introduce us.
Well,
and he's a good radio guy.
So if he appreciates it and he's able to separate like his friends from the guys on the radio, that's hard to do, man. So yeah, that's
nothing.
Awesome.
He's like, nothing annoys me more than when Spot spends you or Steve's money.
Oh, he does that a lot. Yeah.
When he's like, if I were you, I would do this, and I'm like, well, you're not me. And there's like a priority and list of things in an order in which you would operate versus is how I would operate.
Right.
And again, things we talk about on the show. Yeah, there are things that we continue talking about in our personal lives with our spouses and friends and stuff. But there are conversations
that also provides for a good conversation.
Of course, it does.
Like, hey, Rich wants to drive 85. I don't. Right? If Rich doesn't hold his ground because that's how he feels, then where's the conversation really?
Yeah.
Right. So Spot, in Spot's defense, in saying that, he's just adding to the conversation.
You need a surround sound.
And here's why.
Outside of Spot saying that a couple times on the show,
right?
It's not like what him and I talk about off the air, and it's not what I talk about with anyone else in my life.
Right.
So I told you, I came back from a trip where I was in New York and Texas, and I just came back with a little new perspective. The perspective being, hey, we're all getting older. Kids are growing up. Life is happening, and I'm going to stop being conservative, and I want to treat myself to more things. So I came back, and Sarah and I are like, you know what? We're back in action now. Let's get a good sound system. Let's get a good grill for outside. Let's redo our lighting on the side of the house. Let's
get that LCD sound system.
Let's re-up some things. Let's redo some things. And you know, it is what it is. And some people that are like during construction, I'm still under construction. I still have my contractor on standby. I still need to do another coat of paint in the house once everything's done. I still need to do my, what they call it, a punch list, where you put little blue tape all over the house, the little touch-up spots. Mm-hmm. They still need to repaint part of the exterior of my house. And anytime I need a wall broken, it could be done or through the attic because the guy's still on standby. So
He still has to repair your ceiling.
yeah, still has to
right, from
repair
that
my
leak.
ceiling from a leak. We got a new roof. So there's a million things. So the reality is I just came back and my two big, well, I have a few priorities, but two of them are, actually three of them are surround sound, barbecue, and car. Those are three things I need to focus on. Barbecue, grilling, car, and surround sound. So I had the thought I was going to tell you, which is marriage and divorce.
So Rich left Texas and said he's done being conservative. That's a headline, Bill Jackson said. Mauser wants to know if you're working on that garage door yet.
Well, that'll be part of the gal garage, which I'll be honest, the estimate was a little higher than I wanted it to be, so I was going to hold off on that. But then I'm like, fuck it, just do it. What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for?
What are we waiting for?
What are we waiting for? What am I going to do? Wait?
Well,
No,
I mean, I'm
fuck
almost
it. Who
50.
cares?
Fuck. Gotta start
Who cares? Do it now. Live it now. Spend
YOLO
all your
cholo,
money,
bro.
Spend all your money, everybody.
living. Yeah. So go ahead, life question.
Marriage and divorce.
Married?
Married? You've been there, done that. May go there again. Let's just say we have an old school mutual friend. Not going to call him out.
Will Ferrell?
Old school friend? It was Luke Wilson. Was Luke Wilson in old school?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
And
Rashida Jones?
yeah, I think.
You're crazy, man.
Stifler was in it.
So he was with a mullet.
Mhm.
Sweet one. Marriage and divorce. We have a mutual old school pal. Not going to call him out, but he did post this on social media, so I could give generic feelings on this. He posted that shit after like 20 years together. Him and his wife are going their separate ways. And it came as a surprise to Covino, myself, Spot, any other people that know this guy. I was like, man, really? I maybe years ago would have predicted it, but certainly not now. I thought, like, if anything, now things are good.
Well, again, from what we see,
Yeah,
because from
of
what
course.
we see on
Social
social
media
media
is,
and
you know,
everything else,
social media
you
is-
would think that they're vacationing, they're having the time of their life, and things
Yeah.
are going great, but you never really know.
And then
It's unfortunate.
And then I realized, like, yo, if your kids, if you got boys or girls and they are teenagers or getting older, is it possible? Is it scary? Yes, all these things to say, hey, we did our job. We're married. We had a good run. Our boys, our girls, our kids are grown, especially if they're close to like college age, right? Where the parents are like, yeah, you know what? We're going to call it quits. It's been a good 20-year run. And then you become like, now you're like 50, 60-year-old solo act. And I wonder if that is the most frightening thing, relieving. Do you think there's some people that say, fuck it, at this point, I'm just going to tough it out. But do you give those people, I'm not saying extra credit because there's no extra credit that should be given to divorce, but do you give those people extra credit for having the balls to say, I'd rather take my chances solo out there at an older age? Or do you say, yeah, don't stay in something that doesn't make you happy?
I mean, Phil Collins did it. David Lee Roth did it.
No different than buying a new car. Life is too short to not be happy. And Rolando said, of course, no one puts their real life on social media. True, true, true.
I have a silly observation on this social media post, to be honest.
You think the font was weird?
The font did not match the sentiment of this.
The sentiment was like, we're going our separate ways after 20 years, and the font was like comic font
please respect our privacy as a family. It's
at
a
this
tough
time, and the font was like cartoon font. And Covino's like,
it was like circus font.
it was like, what's
It was
with
like
the font?
it was to lighten the blow, but the font did not match
I said, what did you want?
the feeling of the statement.
Morbid fonts.
No, like normal font,
What?
but instead it was like. Anyway, that was my observation. Aside from the I I wish you well, man. I'm sorry to hear that because it's tough and it sucks because there's the feeling of, yeah, we played house for fucking 15 years or whatever.
Pennsylvania hit us up saying, like, to be honest, at that age, unless someone wants to move on with someone else or they're cheating and they don't want to stop with the other person, unless it's like someone found someone else, it's pretty ballsy to just be like, hey, no one else is in the picture. We just want to go our separate ways. And yes, someone said they posted this on social media. I think a lot of people do to avoid the awkwardness of questions, right? Especially if you're somewhat of a notable person, a little bit even, right? You sort of feel like you got to announce that. I don't know.
I haven't thought about that. You
never did, right?
No. I announced it on the air, but I didn't make like a public press release about it. And I'm not judging him for doing that. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, I guess that is interesting for some people. But hey, maybe people have moved on. I don't fucking know. But like you said, it answers that question.
Well, a lot of times,
and like it.
A lot of times,
what you want to avoid is speculation.
Well,
right?
A lot of times, someone will
like, hey, who's that guy she's with?
Of course, sometimes some people will make that announcement, like respect our privacy at this point, but I'm pointing it out, and some people will never get it because. Some people will never get it if they don't have outliers in their life. Meaning, if your social media...
Kanye announced it for Kim and Skeet.
Oh, Skeet Davidson is dead.
Kanye announced it.
So, are you following as far as if you are... Let's say you're... Give me someone that got divorced recently. Celebrity. Who got divorced? Celebrity divorces. I should be able to name this off the top of my head. Celebrity.
See, now I feel like Sarah Palin when she couldn't think of a magazine.
Vice President candidate Palin, give me a magazine you read.
Lipstick.
On a pig. I could see Russia from
Maverick. Maverick magazine? Yes. Let me think of a divorced couple. Recently divorced.
Oh, all right. So Chelsea Handler and Joe Coy they broke up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they broke up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now, they're notable. That's a great example because
they weren't married.
No. But here's the thing.
You asked divorced.
They are not. They're a great example because they're not A-listers, but they're notable enough where if fucking Joe Coy's out and about having dinner with some girl, someone will care enough to like be like, who's that?
Right. It's better that you make that announcement than some fucking stupid tabloid.
Yeah.
Right?
So like Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green break up.
It takes away from the speculation.
If she doesn't announce that, then people can be like, yo, she's fucking all over Machine Gun Kelly. Isn't she married? So
what's the question about life and divorce?
The question more is, listen, when you're a celebrity and you're Skeet Davidson or, who, by the way, Sarah and I can't understand how he's like still in his 20s.
I heard he's going to bang Martha Stewart next.
I think so.
There's a picture of him with Kim, but Martha Stewart's holding his hand. He's going to be hitting that next.
So when you look at
that dude's only in his 20s for real?
Yeah, Pete Davidson.
What?
How old is that guy? 28 or something.
Like he's been 28 for 10 years.
Pete Davidson is, I'm pretty sure, like so much younger than you think, and you'd be like, what? And you're like, Pete Davidson is 28 years old. Born in 93.
That's ridiculous.
So if you're 40, 50, 60, let's say if kids young, or I mean, put myself in the scenario. If Ben and Emmy are in like high school and college, and 20 years from now, I'm like, Sarah, like we're done. That's a really ballsy move at that stage of your life because you're pretty much saying, I'd rather be with no one than you. Or, hey, we've exhausted this and I really just don't like being around you. It's sort of a very interesting take on things, no? Because at that point you feel like you've done it, you got past the hard part. But then I guess maybe a lot of people have that revelation later in life, like, I deserve to be happy, I'm getting old.
Just want some strange. It's all about strange, let's be honest. You got that far, you just want some strange.
See.
Ass cheeks are strange.
J-Lo and Ben already need to get away from each other. Oh boy. They're taking time apart after their wedding. What does that mean?
Rich, you were describing every divorce. That's from Michael.
No,
Hello,
Mauser. Covino, not to use you as the example, but Covino makes sense to me in that they were married for a handful of years. They had a kid. It wasn't working. They tried. He tried as hard as he could to make it work. It just couldn't work. He got divorced as a relatively young man. I'm saying, imagine raising kids through high school, college, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, our girls and boys are grown. Hey, kids, I know you're all grown now. Mom and dad are getting divorced. It's not your fault. Like, imagine if your parents now, a great example. Imagine big Steven Hortensi, like, Steven, yeah, Mom, I just had enough of your father. I know. I'm leaving him.
I'd tell them both
Mom?
to stick it out because
Stick it out.
no one else is going to put up with either one of you, Mom and Dad. No offense.
Like, you've dealt with it for so long. Like, you've just, after this long, you're done? I don't know. Maybe I'm making no sense, but we can move on. It just, to me,
It hits weird.
it hits weird because it's like you did all the...
You did the hard part?
You did the hard part, but maybe then when the hard part's done, you're like, all right, now I'm just stuck with someone I don't like.
Well, that happens
That's
a lot.
probably it too.
Yeah.
But it's there's a part of me that's like, at this point with Sarah and I can't imagine in a million years us getting divorced. Like,
Yeah,
we made
when
it through.
the kids are out and
No,
then
but
you're
we-
sitting
like,
there,
we-
just you two
we
alone
made it
and
through.
bored.
We made it through the early times of our relationship where, we were both still young and we made it through. Every relationship makes it through its ups and downs early on. Like when you first start having kids, when
When there's
people that are, like
ass cheeks come out in the rain.
everyone's tempted with
When it's
strange. But if you get past those initial,
I don't remember her name.
if you get by the initial,
'Cause it's strange.
if you get by the initial temptation of someone else, the strange, if you get past the initial way we had kids, this is life as parents. I'm just saying, if you've gone through the tempted by the fruit of another, had children, been together decades, done all this, then you must, after all that time, must be like, yo, I'm just so done looking at your face. Because you've gone through.
It is a little different.
So that's why I'm saying
But I
it
think
hits
you
weird,
answered your
right?
own question. The question is, the kids are raised. Now it's just me and you.
And I think that's
And
when some people are like, you know
and
what?
the person you grew into and the person I grew into
Don't like each other.
really don't get along the way we used to. But we were in it because we raised these kids together.
Hey,
And
listen.
that was good. The family unit worked, and we worked together nicely in that system. But in this new system moving forward, I'm not happy this way, and you live once.
I
And think you're faced
I guess
with
you
that.
never know, and I never know. For all I know, Sarah could be like, hey, I've had enough of your stupidity after all these years. But my point is, if you make it past the, hey, we're still young and this temptation, if you make it past the, hey, transition from being no responsibility to being parents, you make the transition
You're
from
also forgetting, like,
job loss,
a
job gains,
huge-
you're like moving across
huge
the country.
possibility. The infidelity that could have happened already. And I'm not insinuating that at all. Let me make that clear. But like a lot of times, like, oh man, I don't get it. They made it past the hard part. And like, oh, fucking John was sleeping with some other woman. That's why.
Maybe his weenie strayed one too many times.
I mean, I don't know. I'm saying
No,
that's
I'm saying that could be a possibility, yeah.
Vice versa. We don't know.
I feel like also as people get older, they also become more forgiving because it's like you're together so long. I don't know. That's all. I think it really just comes down to
Strange.
it hits different. It hits different, but I get it. So I guess I can't play naive to it. But when you see one of your friends get divorced, you're like, been together 25 years, or you guys have been together since your 20s and we're 40 now.
What's been going on now that you have gone? There's no other.
Maybe it's.
Tempted by the fruit of my mother.
But I think, all right, get this. Let's say it's some old dude.
Hands off, Mauser.
Let's say it's some old dude. And he's like a executive. Right? Let's say it's
old
some
executive
old
guy, like-
executive guy.
Like Roger Sterling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can picture it.
Old executive dude.
Okay.
If old executive dude is in his 60s and he fucks some younger woman at work,
No. Like Christina Hendricks.
there's a good chance his wife, who's like 60 something, will
Forgive him.
stay with him and probably be like,
Not today's woman, though. Yesteryear's woman.
I think a lot. I think even today's at
You think
that
a working
point,
woman would like
some
deal with
60
this jerk off?
some 60-something-year-old will be like, well, yeah, I just think that.
June Cleaver would, because she had no other options.
No, but
Ward would give her the backhand.
Yeah, but I just think
Ward
it's a,
was the man of the house. She's like, oh, she wore the apron. What's she gonna do?
Yeah, no, I just think I think at that
Now
age,
a woman's like, I don't need that shit. Peace.
maybe so.
And they're getting hit up left and right. There's another businessman in her DMs.
Rich, I agree, man. It's a good question. This is from our buddy Eric. He said, I was married 11 years, did the hard part. 2 boys raised and whatever. Because of the hard part and all the stress, we just grew apart. No strange involved. We just grew apart based on what you just said. The hard parts made them grow apart. Parenting, life, all that stuff. No strange involved.
You know what happens too? There's a lot of kids born today with mental issues or just any sort of issue or handicap or you name it. That puts a lot of stress on a relationship, a lot of resentment, and they tough it out and they do their part, but then, relationship's ruined as a result. There's so many reasons, so many factors. On a serious note, I will say this. Rich was talking about a mutual friend. I didn't reach out the way I wanted to yet. I got to let it breathe a little bit, but I did feel bad about it. Like we're having fun talking about it. We're doing a radio show. I felt bad to hear that news.
Yeah,
I did.
I didn't. I
so
thought,
on a serious note, I was like, that sucks, man, because I've been there and it's the worst. You never set out for that. You just don't. So I felt bad for my bud, our bud.
Yeah, but hey, if you get back out in the market when you're in your 40s, I think there's still plenty of.
I was 4D.
There's plenty of fish if you go and fly fishing for booty. You're a fly fishing expert.
I caught 12, bro. I lost 6.
God forbid Jordan's like, I'm going back to Idaho and I'm never coming back with the dog, and you're like, what? I think at 46 you'd even be fine. I think that's why I think it's most peculiar when it's like 50 or 60 because you've lived with that person and you're sort of like now. But hey, what are you gonna do? Let's see. Divorced after 20. Oh, speaking of, I think I brought this up before, but I was watching a clip and the movie Swingers. You know how old that movie is now?
1996. So you do the math.
1996 is 26 years ago.
1996. You're so money, you don't even know it.
Vegas, baby, Vegas. It never dawned on me.
Yeah.
And I think I brought this up once before, but I was doing a little homework for the year 2002, 20 years ago. 2002 is when the phrase, what happens in Vegas stays here, became their city slogan. And they recently changed it. Like, I think we pointed this out before, but when Swingers was all about Vegas or Vegas Vacation, any of these movies, that whole what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas wasn't even a thing yet. I think anyone younger might think, you know how you always talk about how someone might not realize that like Frank Perdue's a real guy or
Orville Redenbacher.
Or Orville Redenbacher was a real dude.
The Colonel was a real guy.
Yeah. KFC, Colonel, real guy.
Wendy's a real woman.
Yeah, daughter of Dave Thomas.
Her fat dad named it after her.
I think...
I'm sorry, Dave Thomas was a good guy.
I think it's one of those things, Covino, where I think a lot of people will think that that's been like the slogan of Vegas forever.
What happens
in Vegas stays in Vegas.
What
happens
really
in Vegas...
condoning cheating, though. It's kind of... I think we'll get to a point where it's like a little off color. Like, you believe we ran with that slogan?
They stopped that. That's not the slogan anymore. Hold on. Las Vegas.
You know what dawned on me the other day? Well, actually, yesterday. Yesterday, how nothing is consistent in our world at all. Like, nothing. It goes back to Leguizamo. Nothing's consistent. So if that's his stance, I'm with it.
They
changed you know how everyone's like in trouble for old tweets or old jokes or old... How in hip-hop is misogyny like accepted then? Let's be consistent. Mm-hmm. Ludacris talking about bitches and hoes and move bitch and suck my nuts. Like, we're okay with that. But if someone tweeted that shit, they were the worst guy ever in the early 2000s. Rappers talking about killing each other. Talking about slapping bitches, slapping hoes, money closing hoes, all in Ninja knows. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
But if someone made a joke about that shit, oh, look how misogynistic, what a piece of shit he was back in the day. Yeah, we promoted cheating. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, bro.
What happens in Vegas stays here was a slogan that's been rolling since the end of 2002.
Nothing's consistent, dude.
Now, it was recently changed.
What is it now?
And this is interesting because of the attempt to capture the city's authenticity when you think about how Vegas is trying to become more of like a place where people actually live now. We know a lot of people that have actually moved to Vegas. It is one of the fastest growing places in America.
Las Vegas. I've been consistently doing that for 20 years.
Las
Vegas.
Wes and Bree. We got TSS Taylor. Well, I know there's plenty of people we know that have lived in Vegas, and it's become quite a metropolis. They have the Raiders now.
Steve, who looks like Scotty the Body. Steve, what's his name?
We got
What's up, Steve?
We got the Golden Knights. Like Vegas is, it grew a lot since we've even known each other.
So it doesn't lead with cheating anymore.
So Vegas a year ago changed their slogan.
Oh, and by the way, I love Ludacris. I do. I'm just saying it's noticeably different from today's ears.
So instead of what happens in Vegas, stays here.
Mm-hmm.
The slogan they've been trying to push that's really not catching on for the last year and a half now.
Yes. What happens in Vegas should be discussed with the ones you love. What's
and make a great slideshow.
Yeah.
What happens here only happens here in an attempt to capture the magic of Vegas.
Oh, well, it's more
what happens here?
It's more appropriate
only
than like,
happens
hey,
here.
come here and cheat on your wife.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Fuck some whores.
Yeah, we got lots of whores. Lose your
Vegas.
kids' college fund in Vegas.
Vegas, what happens here stays here.
Got more politically correct.
Whores.
Just like today's rap. That's why today's rap doesn't hit the same way.
Oh, I heard some lyrics the other day.
It's not like yesterday's rap. though.
It's true.
No,
Yeah,
it's
maybe you're
not.
right.
I was
Maybe
listening,
you're
like I said, I was listening to Ludacris, and I was vibing with that shit. And I'm like, yeah, fuck them hoes.
right. Vegas, baby.
We were like so not politically correct, and now we're like way politically correct.
What sounds more fun? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Sounds way more fun, but that sounds
What happens
more appropriate.
here only happens here. We're magical.
Yeah, it's good.
And what if Vegas soon has the Oakland A's? What if the A's? What if that whole stadium doesn't go
There's
through?
Plenty of A's.
There's plenty of A's.
Plenty of A's.
in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
If Vegas legalized,
Ass.
if they legalized prostitution,
Ass is legal.
because prostitution is legal, not in Vegas, but
Las Vegas ass.
isn't prostitution legal where they have
They
the
just added,
where
they add an extra S instead of A's. Is ass.
ass. What was the bunny? The bunny ranch was where? Where was Dennis Hop?
That was in Nevada, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's like
but I
certain,
mean,
there's certain like counties.
Yeah.
You can't just Vegas itself. Las Vegas does not allow
Obviously
prostitution.
Nevada, but
Prim Nevada? No, Reno. Well, whatever. There is.
Remember we had an ass pass that we never used?
Yeah, it probably would have given you. Probably would have got something.
Yeah.
But if Vegas allowed hookers, different game. All right. Cross that off. It's really not.
How about my thought about rapper? I can't be the only guy that's thought about this.
What?
But how about how like rappers and hip hop, like how is Ice Cube, right?
Yeah.
Today's family man, riding a raft with with his family in a movie, and he's the guy that was like, bitches don't mean shit and fuck the police. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, it's yeah.
like how are rappers not ever held accountable for the shit they used to talk about? But everybody
I know.
else under the moon is. That's some wild shit when you think about it. Think about it.
I think about that.
I still vibe with that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Think about that, and it comes down to something that I don't want to give him credit for making up this term, but I only have heard him say it. Joe Rogan said that guys like Portnoy, Chappelle, Bill Burr, I'm trying to think of who else he put on this list. He calls it, and himself probably too, they've achieved, quote, escape velocity, where they can no longer be canceled. If anything, they have such a strong fan base that by attempting to, quote, cancel them, their escape velocity, all it does is just make their fans support them more And the pushback is so minimal in the big picture that they've achieved, quote, escape velocity. And a guy like Bill Burr could tell.
Mauser's a bozo. He's saying it's a song, Covino. Nobody believes Ice Cube really had that good of a day. I get it. But there are also tweets. There are also jokes. There are also things that were said maybe in a different context.
Dude, Nasty Nestor Cortez, Yankees pitcher, could go on Twitter 15 years ago and be like, yo, my N-word, because he was friends with all black kids and he was the Puerto Rican guy in the school of all black kids, and he said he used it in a slang way, but now it's like, is Nasty Nestor a racist?
Yeah, Eminem killed his wife in a song.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais has to be on that list after his last special.
Oh, yeah, no, Ricky Gervais, I believe, was on that list.
Yeah, he really is, man. Like, it's also a matter of owning what you say.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't care what you think or not. And every one of those guys that, I'd love to be in that company one day.
Portnoy,
because it's about standing your ground regardless of what anyone else
think about it.
Thinks about it.
Portnoy, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Ricky Gervais, there's certain people that their fan base is very loyal. And the people that hate on them are such a minority of loud whiners that the reality is that no one's not going to go see.
Ricky Gervais' last special is a prime example of it. It's great.
No one's gonna not go see Dave Chappelle. If Dave Chappelle comes to your hometown, you're going to see him. Barstool is not suffering because Portnoy did something and some girl, wrongly accused him of something.
He'll call a press release. I talked about Portnoy while I was in Idaho. Barstool came up. When did you turn the page on Portnoy? Do you remember? Because I was reminded of when I turned my page and when I was like, I like this guy now. Do you remember? Because I forgot until this past weekend.
I mean, he did a lot for small business during COVID.
Bam.
For sure. But before that, also, I always thought that he was a winner. But I think that was sort of a good move for him.
Definitely, because he put his, before then it was a lot of hot air, right? Like, this guy's a blowhard, and then you realized
he backed it up.
No, he puts his money where his mouth is. Gotta respect that.
Yeah, but that's a list of like Portnoy, Chappelle, Ricky Gervais, Bill Burr.
List.
Yeah, but it's people that
you don't gotta like them,
people that
I respect them.
People want them to be canceled, but they'll never be. Bill Burr is Bill Burr is like Bill Burr is like the late great Bob Saget, in where Bill Burr could go be on a Disney show.
He gets away with it, right?
And all of a sudden Bill Burr
he's on Mandalorian.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying Bill Burr is one of those guys that I think that we could compartmentalize him as a comic and as an actor. Like, we know he's
canceled
vulgar.
Gina Carano, but not him.
They canceled Gina Carano, but Bill Burr
from the same show.
Bill Burr could go on a whole rant. Get this.
That's a great
Bill
example.
Burr could go on a whole rant about no one caring about women's sports and transgender women.
Right. And he's like, let's be honest.
And he works for Disney and ESPN because they're all the same umbrella, and it's wild, right?
And they canceled his co-star.
And they can cancel Bill Burr.
That is wild.
You know why?
It's a great list to be on. I think it's a matter of
quote escape velocity.
Escape velocity?
You've achieved it when you're escape velocity. You can't be canceled.
The uncancelable Kid Rock is on that list, believe it or not.
You know why? Because his audience, if Kid Rock says some dumb shit.
I've said that before. The uncancelable Kid Rock, because he's like, fuck you, I don't care.
If Kid Rock says,
he might not be mainstream
Kid Rock could come out on stage and be like, yeah, and say some rude shit about
fuck you hoes.
He could say fuck you hoes, and he could say some shit about gay people, this or that, and come out draped in a Trump flag, and no one that likes Kid Rock is going to be like,
funny,
no, but I'm saying no one could be like, I used to love him, now I don't like him. If you like Kid Rock, you're okay with Kid Rock. You're not going to be like, I was a huge Kid Rock fan, but I'm a pretty liberal guy. No one is saying that. But
you know what, though? Before he even had that bagging, he always had that attitude. So I think it's not about necessarily escape velocity. It's about being strong in your convictions regardless, and then people respecting you for that, whether they agree or not.
True that.
Like, Kid Rock was giving the entire world a big fuck you before he even was selling albums, Yeah. So I think it's a little mix of both. Like, it's just really backing what you believe mixed with escape velocity and having that fan base where they're going to support you regardless.
Have you been following, on a separate news alert, have you been following the Alex Jones defamation case?
No. Remember, I was on a 13-hour, 26 hours of driving I've done.
If there's ever been...
Or I've been a part of.
You know how we talk about who do you hate? And I usually put Joy Behar towards the top of the list. She is a far number 2 to Alex Jones.
I don't think I hate anybody. Who do I hate?
Alex Jones, right-wing conspiracist who went to the extent of doing all the whole Sandy Hook was fake. And now, the families took him to court. They won millions and millions of dollars.
Good for them.
But you know what the sad reality is? Apparently he hides a lot of his money. And this lunatic, this fucking right-wing conspiracy theorist maniac made like hundreds of millions of dollars, Covino, based off of like wackadoos being like, yeah, Alex Jones, tinfoil hats. I hate this fat guy's face so much.
Let me see his fat face.
Come on. Get out, fuck. You got to hate this guy.
Fuck that fat guy.
There might be not one person that's a worse human being. In fact, I said it and I'll say it again. If Alex Jones, I wish he would go to jail and get butt raped every day of his life. He would be the one guy that would deserve it.
Give me some chon chon. Fucking Popeye wasn't Mexican.
If Alex
Hire a real Mexican.
I have a question. If Alex Jones went to prison and got butt raped every day.
By who? Like Big Al?
Yeah.
Suave Al.
If Alex Jones got butt raped every day in prison.
By Nasty Nate?
Would there be one person upset about it? That's my question. I want to know would you be upset if Alex Jones went to prison and got butt raped? A guy that capitalized on saying kids that got murdered in his school was a hoax and fake, and he spreads all these fucking fake rumors and conspiracies. Do you feel like anyone on planet Earth with a fucking head on their shoulders would feel bad if Alex Jones got butt raped in prison? I wish that for him so badly.
I don't know enough about him, but I don't mind based on what you said.
Worst dude ever.
He might like it. Who knows?
Worst dude ever.
Alex Jones.
It's a great story to watch this guy get caught on the stand and caught lying. His lawyer accidentally gave phone records to the prosecution. Rich, stop saying that. Saying what? That I want Alex Jones to get butt raped in prison?
Probably, yeah.
I think he deserves it. One human on planet Earth deserves it.
He's giving up the chon chon in prison.
He's not worth your disdain? Nah, I'm allowed to be. I'm not a hateful guy, but a guy that preys on the families of children who are killed.
Hating somebody's,
I'm not using much energy.
Yeah,
I won't think about it.
It wastes a lot of energy. I don't.
He's honestly like a trash bag. Like imagine that.
I hate
like
people for a day and then I forget about it.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not gonna carry this throughout my day, but
again, where he's just in the moment.
He really is just like the worst type of human. Imagine being like, yeah, there's a bunch of kids that got killed. I'm gonna capitalize on that. Like what type of human garbaggio must you be?
Leave the kids alone.
Can I end on a light note today, Cove?
Yeah, but I got. How about I give some shout outs and then the light note?
Light note, shout outs.
In the rando news, there's not a whole lot, to be honest. John Leguizamo, we talked about that.
Oh, you want rando news or no?
What stands out to you? You got some rando news?
I'll hit you with some rando news.
All right, Rich is going to hit me with some rando news, but I'll give some shout outs.
Went to the gym yesterday. Legs are sore.
On this August 9th, my birthday celebration show, 2022. This is Sharts and News. Snooze. Leading with the Sharts. Thank you, Garrett, for your friendship and subscription. Garrett, appreciate you. Don Sacco. Shout out to you and the wifey. Thanks for the shout outs, the birthday love, and the lasagna. Lasagna Don. And the Sacco. Chris Rucker, the All Night Mo Sacco. Thank you for your birthday wishes. Shout out to the 80 Proof Podcast and Boot to the Face. Shout out to Marty, the Beard Master. But Chris Rucker is my motherfucker. Natasha Johnson, for your continued support. She supports our show hard, man. She's super sweet. Dude Bro Joe. What's up, Dude Bro Joe?
Yo.
Appreciate you, man. El Chico. Orale. All the Chicos. All the Erins. Hi, Miss Erin. Hello, Erin.
Hello, Aaron.
Kimberly Giles.
Yo, Kim, she supports.
All the Reggies, all the Carloses, Carlos and Fresno.
Is it
TSS
Giles
Taylor.
or Giles?
It's Giles, bro. It's Giles. You should know that shit. Mercer, man, appreciate you always. Thanks for your, endless support. And I'm just looking at actually some of the birthday wishes I got. Fresh D. What's up, Fresh Doug? Hope you're good, man.
No, I wear Fresh Doug gave me a baseball T-shirt
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I wear that shit in heavy rotation to the gym. It's the most comfortable. Like it's the material it's made of. So, yo, Fresh D, just so you know, your baseball training company, which I should probably know the name of and give them a shout out.
I mean, you wear the
it's
shirt
like
every
Northern
day.
Academy of Baseball, but whatever it is, Fresh
Again,
D.
don't be too happy about that, Fresh D. He wears clearly anything. He's wearing an Octane T-shirt right now. He puts a lot of thought into what he
because I rock out.
wears.
Hold
Yeah. Roadhead Doug Miller. What's up, buddy?
Yo, Doug, who was at the hospital yesterday, feeling
Doug,
better, Doug?
Fresh Pick. We hope you're feeling good, but Dougie Fresh Pick and Doug Miller to Jim Miller and Mauser and Narzan.
Dougie Fresh went to
Narzan the 8-man.
Dougie Fresh went to the hospital yesterday because he said I thought something was like his kidney was hurting, and he's like,
Really?
He's like, all is good, but he's like, the process of going to the hospital these days. It's like I was there for 6
You
hours.
sure he didn't say his kid's knee was hurting? She didn't misread it?
His kid's knee. No, it was his kidney.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was not little Dougie's knee. But Doug was like, yo, 6 hours. He texted me last night. He's like, I'm finally home, bro.
Oh, I'm happy to. And he took the time to wish me a happy birthday.
Look at that.
Former intern Katie Aki. It was nice to hear from her. Jeff Edstrom wished me a good one. Thank you, Dodo Jeff. Appreciate you. Yeah, and Archie J Speaks and Wes in Idaho and John's the other one. I wish me a happy birthday. You're the best. Thank you guys for all your feedback and for hanging out with us every day and hearing our stupid stories and being part of this stupid show we do.
Patos Locos.
Forever. Orale. Those are your August 9th shout outs. And of course, to my family and Jordan's family who gave me a great birthday weekend to celebrate.
Who in her family do you click with the most?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like who's the person where like if you sit down you could have like a real talk or someone where someone where it's like
who likes me more. I don't know if Jordan's mom likes me more or if Jordan's dad likes me more. I don't know.
not all right. Maybe not who.
I like her sister a lot. Her sister has a lot of great qualities. I like her. I like Colton. I like them all. I really don't know who I click with most.
Who do you feel the most? All right, I'll give you a great example.
Okay.
When I'm at Sarah's family's house in Texas, I could sit around with my father-in-law and feel 1,000,000,000% comfortable, not have to say a word, and we're just chilling there. Mike, I feel like the comfort level you would feel with your own family. You know when you go home to your parents' house and you could just chill and not have to...
I'm not ripping ass in front of any of them.
I'm not saying ripping ass, but
I do that in front of my family.
Who do you feel like you're the most chill in front of, where you don't have to be on at all?
I even like Jordan's stepdad. He's super.
Gary?
He loves me. No.
Stepdad Gary?
Her stepdad. Man, he's super kind to me. They're all very welcoming. I don't know. Maybe her mom. Because her mom's very, loving. Oh, Jordan. Steven. No, I was going to. So maybe her mom. I don't know. Probably her mom.
You know what it is?
Because her mom wants to she wants to party. She wants to have a drink with me. We have a drink on Saturday night. She wants to hang.
It's funny.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I think Jordan's
cute.
mom, she wins. She's super sweet. She's almost too nice.
Jordan's mom.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you, Jordan. And, shout out to all my family and all the birth. Oh, and shout out to my dentist and the real estate guy, the only two people that sent
reach
me a
out to
card.
you. Yeah. It's fascinating to me. I don't know if it's I don't think it's how you were raised, or there's some families that some people you go hang out with them and you could chill, and other people you're always so little on. Well, how do you describe that? I'm not saying how do you describe that phenomenon of there's some people's houses you could go to and feel a 100% easy, no pressure at all. Then other people, family or friends, where it's I don't know, it just seems like a process or something doing. Is it their level of stress that will determine that?
I feel that way in anyone's house that's not mine, to be honest.
My dad's house?
There's always a sense of formality.
As much as I stay at my dad's house, when I'm in New York and I'll spend time with him, there's a sense of formality.
Yeah, I
like
feel that
his wife
at
is
everyone's house.
super hospitable, but it's like, oh, would you like this? And I'm like, I don't like. There's a sense of formality where I don't know, like Sarah's mom's house is like just so easy breezy. There's some people's houses, and I like to hope that my house feels that way when like friends and people come over here. Like I never want people to feel like they have to ask anything.
Go right in Rich's fridge.
Just do it. Go in.
Take what you want.
Dive in. All right.
Eat his pickles.
One random question before we get out of here today.
Well, did you have rando news that like what stood out to you from the pop world or anything pop culture wise?
Skeet David's honestly the breakup with Kim and Pete.
That's the biggest thing, right?
Besides that, I'm honestly right now nothing really going on. Little League World Series.
Little League World Series. You know, my guy Matt Carpenter broke his foot. That sucks.
Oh, you know who might be uncancelable? Morgan Wallen, the country guy, because didn't he like say like the N-word and stuff, and everyone was like wanted to cancel him, but he still won like Grammys, and now he's on stage with like a bunch of rappers, and everyone's like, yo, there he is with Jeezy. Everyone's like, yo, so I think Morgan Wallen put him on that list. The FBI raided Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, I saw that.
That's a big deal. I really didn't know the details of it, and I really don't care, to be honest. So I really don't have the info. I do know that the Padres are 1-6 since they got Soto. So the whole idea of the Padres being like, remember the day they got him, their Vegas odds to win the World Series went way up? Mm-hmm. They're 1-6 since they got Soto.
Hey, man, you're always taking the chance that you're messing with chemistry, right?
Yep.
So hope all your teams are winning.
Anne Heche is in a coma.
What?
She got in a car accident.
Really?
And apparently it was very based. They're saying it might have been based on drugs or alcohol or something. But I know she was pals with, wasn't she pals with Ellis? Like they did a podcast together?
And by the way, I'm sorry to hear that about Anne Heche, but rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. Yeah. That was big news. I was on my excursion, like Matt Vascursion. So my family hit me up with that sad news. Like 73 years old. Man, just like that. I feel like there's something special about her, not only because she had hit after hit and she was a super talent, but the movie Grease, really. I mean, how many times have we referenced that stupid movie here on the show? It was such a big part of our childhoods. And I think she was the epitome of what hot was to a young kid who watched her in the 80s. You know? Yeah. So like, wow, Olivia Newton-John died? That sucks.
Yeah.
And even though she was 73, it just feels too young.
Travolta did a little tribute on his social media. Released a statement.
But apparently she was sick and her whole family was there, so rest in peace.
Yeah, it sucks.
Olivia Newton-John. Yeah, and TC from Magnum PI. Saw that. We actually talked about that on Fox Sports Radio.
Olivia Newton-John she's big news in her era. She was in her time.
She had a lot more hits than I think people realize.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just think, let's get physical. But she had a lot. And again, she was a great actress. And dude, Sandy, that sucks. Anne Heche, only 53. Yeah, that sucks. So that's your rando news. Rich wanted to end on something light, and rock out on Olivia Newton-John's behalf for sure. Yeah. Her story sad to tell.
Yeah. Just like that. It just sucks. Not just like that they're sick. Just like that, like here one day, gone the next. Spend your money. Live your life. You never know. My dumb thing that has nothing to do with seriousness is it has to do with boneless wings. Because I saw a meme that said, and we've seen this one before, but it just got me thinking. It said, if you're the jerk off that orders boneless wings, just admit you're a kid that's eating like chicken nuggets.
Okay.
And then I thought two things. I'm like, all right, well, I like chicken nuggets.
I'll admit that. You can't cancel me.
So boneless wings. Yeah, they really are nothing more than chicken tenders or nuggets cut up to be little, and we call them boneless wings.
With some sauce on them.
But I'm glad you said the sauce, because my thought was, can you hear me on this mic?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's why. Boneless over traditional. That's from Chris. When you talk about boneless wings, it made me think of a lot of things in life, in the food department. Do we really like what we're eating, or do we like the sauces we're putting on it? So if you're talking about wings, right? Mm-hmm. If someone's like, you got to get bone wings. If you get boneless, you're a pussy. They're chicken nuggets. Are boneless and bone-in people really both just savoring the sauces anyway?
You've always considered yourself a bone-in person, right?
Bone in.
Bone in.
I bought a bone-in ribeye yesterday at Ralph's. Mm-hmm. At a meat sale. So today I'm going to cook up some steaks.
Nice.
So here's the thing. Number one, do my Joe Biden. The thing. Number two, come on, man. And number three, whether it's bone-in or boneless, isn't the reality that we really are just sopping up the sauces?
Condiments.
It's all about condiments. It's like a lot of times you're like,
the condiment king.
So it's like, yo, bro, had some wings, boneless or bone-in? Oh, yeah, pussy would get boneless. Yeah, what you have? I had 10 spicy, 10 teriyaki, and 10 Asian zing. Aren't you just dousing it with sauce? It's like a salad.
You're not eating the bone.
Yeah, I got a salad. You know what you really have? Thousand Islands with some lettuce mixed in. You're savoring the sauce. So anyone that bitches about boneless versus bone-in, or to me, you're not worried about the meat. 80% of the wing experience is the sauce, how hot it is, and whether you want to douse it with blue cheese or ranch. So unless you're the guy that's eating wings with naked wings, no sauce, no toppings,
that's the exception.
Then you're the guy.
room.
Because otherwise, if you're criticizing the boneless guy, aren't you the guy that's also being like extra hot sauce, and then you bring me bring me ranch and blue cheese? Get out of here. You know what it's like? It's like the guy that raves about his great burger. You're like, dude, you got bacon, cheese, avocado, and then you're dousing it with sauce and ketchup and mayo. Come on.
Yeah, if you like the dry rub, if you like them with nothing on it, Rashawn, Jesus, yeah, that's fine. Then you got an argument and you can make fun of. Otherwise, you don't. And I agree with Rich. I think it's a fucking lame argument anyway. Shove the bone up your ass. You're the best.
It's
like, I like what I like. I'm not trying to like what you like. It's like I'm not trying to be you.
Like I love a lemon pepper like dry wing. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It's just the same overwhelming like lemony, peppery taste if you get it on a bone or the boneless.
Lemony.
You're what you're craving. What I'm saying is what you're craving, Covino, is the sauce. You're never craving the actual wing.
In fact, sometimes if something tastes too chickeny,
let me lick some of the sauce.
Yeah, the chickeny taste like, ooh.
Truthfully.
Chickeny.
If I said, everyone close your eyes unless you're driving right now, and I said, picture having some wings, you're not picturing the chicken. You're picturing that hot taste on your tongue, or you're picturing that sweet teriyaki sauce, or you're picturing the little dip in your ranch or blue cheese. So anyone that says you're pussy for having boneless.
What about if you're eating ass? Jelly or syrup?
I prefer syrup.
I prefer Asian zing.
So
spicy. Rich is right.
Rub it up.
Rich is right.
Flip it, reverse it, rub it.
It's a corny argument anyway. Like,
it's just one of those things. I guess it was one of those. I'm like, oh man, another meme about boneless wings. Must be a slow day.
Fat guy argument. Fucking bones. All right, fat guy. You then enjoy your bones. I don't really care. I enjoy what I enjoy. Like, what are you so mad about that I enjoy this?
You don't do it. You don't know the bones.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. I agree, Jason. Let's end it with that.
That's the weakest line in any fucking pop song ever.
No one's like, if I go take a bite of a wing, you're picturing the blue cheese and the hot sauce. Or you're picturing, like I said, is that Asian zing I taste?
Dark meat versus white meat.
Thank you, John.
Agreed.
Thank you, Mike, Sam, Paul, Dimitrik gets 3 shout outs today.
Look at that. What a guy.
Appreciate all you guys, all your feedback. Again, do a shout on my behalf and enjoy my birthday night. And I hope all your teams win. What's today, Tuesday?
Speaking of teams, you see how fast this fucking big dude on the Mets is, Vogelbach? He motors on the bases.
He definitely eats the bone.
He eats the whole, yeah, he eats both.
I eat the bone. I eat all of it. Bone. I like my donuts. Fucking punches.
Gotta love that guy.
Guy farts 80 times as he rounds the bases.
But you know what they're saying? They timed him, and he's as fast as anyone else on the team.
I bet.
He's
a big guy.
Man.
He's a big guy on the Mets. Vogelbach. You
never know how a guy's going to be received by your team. That must be a weird feeling too. Like you go to a new team and all of a sudden the fans are like, yeah, we like you because you're like a fat, funny guy.
Vogelbach rounding first. And he slides in safe at second.
Vogelbach. All right. Well, we will see you guys mañana. Enjoy your action-packed Tuesday.
When you're sliding for the double and you're feeling something bubble. Vogelbach.
Anything else to check out tonight? What are you doing for your birthday? You going anywhere?
Fucking hope nobody bothers me. That's why I want to open up my email and not see anything annoying. So my whole goal is, after the show right now, I'm gonna pretend to help Rich upload it because I got to pick up Melody. I'm gonna pick up Melody, and I want nobody to bother me. I don't want to get an email from the lawyer. I don't want to get an email from this person. I don't want any bills. I don't want any hassles or hops. I don't want the dog to shit on my Nikes.
Happy birthday. Let's reassess your child support.
Yeah, I don't want...
From your lawyer.
Just one fucking day, leave me alone. I don't want to hear about, no offense to my kid, but I don't want to hear about, her problems either today. Save them for tomorrow. Leave me alone.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Melody starts 7th?
7th grade on
Is that
Monday.
7th it's different in every school district, but
Yeah.
7th was the first year that I changed classes for every subject. Is that different out here?
She's been doing that.
Oh, she
in
has?
junior high. Yeah, once junior high kicked in or middle school kicked in.
Well, I
think it started last year.
For me, K through 6 was in 6th grade, I had the same teacher fucking all day.
Right. No,
and then in
actually
7th
started
grade,
last year.
7th grade, I was
So
like,
you're not too far.
math, science, this, that. Yeah. So she has all different, she has a schedule now.
For the most part, yeah.
Last year too. Though.
Yeah, last year too.
Okay. Because that's a big
she's
deal.
technically in middle school in 6th grade. Now she's entering 7th grade. And yeah, Jim Ramsey, what's up, man? Yeah, seeing Melody, but I got her the whole week summer schedule. So I have her from now until first day of school. So I'm bringing her to the first day of school on Monday, and should be a fun day. Melody's going to Six Flags on Friday, so she's excited about that. So she has a busy week planned.
All right. Well, hey, have a great week. Enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land. Happy birthday to me. Órale, cuatro locos. Forever.